are that bloody good, Phil Hurton. Oh, Harry Prosser gets dropped! The excitement is building, the crowd is here.
Oh, why not, mate?
Well, g'day footy fans and welcome to Ray White Tea Tree Gully Oval, Pertaringa, for round 16 of the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 season. For some, there are only 3 games left of the season. But today, across all of Division 1, every team is playing for something. A minor premiership, a double chance, a finals berth. And most desperately for our 2 teams today, it's about survival, avoiding relegation, staying in the top tier. Helping us cover this round of the season are filming footy sponsors. Archie's Footwear, Belgravia Apparel, New Balance, Neomorph Mouthguards, Hahn, Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic, Farmers Leap Winery, Police Credit Union, Dartfish Footy Stats, and the Moseley Bar and Kitchen. Coming up, it's Tea Tree Gully hosting the Brighton Bombers. The loser is in the relegation zone tonight. Thanks to Filming Footy, this is the Adelaide Footy League. Here at Pertaringa, Past Players Day, Bogan Rock Night tonight. We're getting into the spirit of that. So lots of things happening off the field, but it's what's on the field that's really important. The round of the season for mine, and the biggest, most desperate match is here today at Pertaringa. I'm Phil Hurton, joined by Adam Jeffries. Adam, what a round we have to cover this afternoon.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? The Division 1 competition was always going to come down to this, wasn't it? I still think the last round might surpass it, but we'll see what happens today. The ladder might just sort itself out after today's results. We'll see what happens. So Tea Tree Gully, last time I was here, it was going pretty well. They beat Broadview, they were 4-4, they were thinking finals. They've lost their last 7 in a row. What's gone wrong? Yeah, early in the season, they were one of my fancies for finals, Phil. I really liked how they were playing. We called a game here against Prince Alfred. They won by nearly 10 goals. Narrow losses, killers, after the siren here last game up, 7 points last week. Their season could have been different with 2 or 3 results going the other way. There's always one unlucky story in Division 1. It might be them this year, Phil.
As for Brighton, well, they won last week. That was at home. Winning on the road has been their problem. They're winless, just a draw at Port Districts. And heck, it's a long way from Brighton to Tea Tree Gully, let me tell you. What does a road trip do to a team? Where is the home ground advantage here?
Oh, they certainly have a home ground advantage, Brighton. That seems to be where they get their results over the last couple of years, doesn't it? But Brett Backwell's a no-excuse coach. He won't use the travel as an excuse. They're more than capable of winning this game, and it all comes down to accurate goal shooting for them. If they come out here and kick accurately, they'll win today. You can see in their wins, they kick accurately. They play well most weeks. They don't hit the scoreboard. They don't win. So I think if they can kick accurately, they can get the road win that they desperately need.
And what a glorious day to play some football. It has a pre-finals vibe about it. Now, finals are not a thing for these two, but it has a feel of the end of the season. Great conditions to see some footy today.
Yeah, this is why we love the relegation battles, don't we? Because, otherwise these games are meaningless, but they're certainly anything but. So, great day for footy. A little bit of a mini-final for both clubs. Can't wait for the bounce.
A big day on and off the field. We're going to do some karaoke. Adam jamming Jeffries will have a crack in a moment. But after the break, we'll be back with all the on-field action.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Yes, welcome back. How glorious is that setting up here at Pertaringa? Blue sky day, hills in the background, and a pretty important footy game. Well, we're here in the Filming Footy Media Centre, and fair to say we are where we belong, in the commentary box, talking some footy. Past Players' Day, the crowd is starting to gather. Earlier today, unfortunately, the Seas, a forfeit by Brighton. Gully got the points, and the C grade got to enjoy the post-match a little bit earlier than normal, so they're in fine form. B grade underway here, and it's Gully 10-11-71, Brighton 3-4-22, which is the final score, a 49-point win to the Gullies, and Brighton in the Bs remain winless. Phil Hurd and Adam Jeffries. Adam, it doesn't get any bigger than playing to stay in the division.
Yeah, it is a big thing, and I think it's fantastic. Like I said, I've coached in country leagues where these games are just so meaningless, Phil, and nobody turns up and nobody cares and every player's injured, right? So this is super important, and looking at both clubs, they want this match really badly, because if one of these two teams does go down, they'll look back on this match, whoever loses this one. Gully have been a bit stiff, as we know. Brighton, I think, have been an improved football team this year. They just haven't had the 7 wins like they had last year. So, yeah, it's going to be a great game. Relegation is important. It's not the be-all and end-all, Phil, but it is important to a lot of clubs.
Well, we'll see how the Division 1 is sorted and how big this round is. Glenunga at Sacred Heart, Payneham at Port District, Golden Grove hosting Princes, 7th and 10th, Broadview and St. Peters, and then there's us. And you can see there, Adam, that basically the winner of this is safe for a week. The loser is in 9th, if not 10th spot.
Yeah, especially Brighton with that draw. This means more to them, doesn't it? They win here, a road game, and that'll help them immensely. Not sure who Gully's last two opponents feel we are. We might talk about that after, but we can't say anything but that it's a huge game, isn't it? You know, one team's going to stay up, one team's going to stay down. But St. Peters, we won't count them out either. And even if I'm Prince Alfred and Broadview in particular, I'm not safe either, am I?
No, look, Broadview probably need one more win. Prince's problem is they've got the extra win, but they have the worst percentage. So Golden Grove, I think I worked it out, they are technically safe. Top 5 are done. They can focus on getting in finals and seedings. The rest have got to look in both directions.
So because Brighton have the draw, they could potentially get safe with one more win. The others would have to win 2, Gully or St. Peters.
6.5, 14 points is the magic line at the moment. That might drop to 12 after today's games, because just 2 left after today. Let's have a look at Gully. You're going to see a lot of red after what looked like a pretty good recovery to be 4-4 after round 8. And if you look at round 10, 11, 12, 13, the 4 toughest teams in the comp, you'd understand that losing streak. But what's really killed him, Adam, is the 2 point after the siren loss at home here to St. Peters, and then leading all day but falling by 7 at Prince Alfred.
Yeah, they're killers, aren't they? Even if they just needed to pinch one of them, didn't they, Phil? And they would have been feeling a little bit more comfortable, or still not totally comfortable. I really liked how they were playing early part of the season. 4-4, called a game here in round 6 where they were awesome, kicked 7 goals in the first quarter. Were looking the part, looked solid across the field. Their structures looked sound. They were hard to beat out here at Pertaringa in particular. But the wheels have fallen off a little bit. I've said this a few times with Tea Gully over the years, Phil. They don't have the depth in their B grade that some of the big powerhouse Division 1 teams have. And when they inevitably in the middle of winter, you get illnesses, you get injuries, and you need to call on your depth. So that stuttered them. But they're unlucky, Phil. We counted before 5 losses under 10 points. No wins under 10 points. So 0 and 5 in games decided under 10 points. If they win all them, we're talking about them playing deep in September, aren't they? So they're not far off. They'll be desperate to stay in Division 1, Phil. They had a turn in Division 2 about 4 years ago. They don't want to go back because it is hard to get back.
Yeah, just ask the Goodwood Saints.
Very
right
hard.
Now, we're probably not going to play finals this year after being Div 1 last year. So Tea Gully are out. Some changes. 4 outs. William James, Noah Hyde, Adrian Friday, Jordan Personos. Coming in, Cody Tate, Adam Machado, Luke Brown. That's the huge in. His first game since round 7, ironically against Brighton. And making his debut, Adam Semler. We'll talk about him a little bit later. Probably stronger for the inclusion of Luke Brown.
Oh, it's a huge in, isn't it, Phil? Let's not beat around the bush. It's only his 3rd game for the season as well. So he's been a huge loss. He's kicked 7 goals in those 2 games that he's played primarily as a forward. I think they'll play him as a forward today. He'll be a tad rusty, but he's still good enough to kick 3 or 4 goals and drag a good defender away from a Tyler West potentially so he can fire up. West started the season so well, didn't he, Phil? He was leading the goal kicking. Kicked a couple of bags early in the season, but he's just dropped off in form and had some injury concerns himself. Tyler Martin, I'm a big rap for, Phil. I think he's a great footballer. He can play either end. He's that guy that's forward kicking a goal. He's spare behind the ball late in the quarters. So they're an even team. I love the inclusion of Brown. I think that almost tips the scales in their favour. His magnet on the board.
Well, that and the road trip for Brighton as we flip the sides around. And probably what you won't see from the graphic is the fact that Brighton on the road this season, this is their 8th road game, as you can see the footy. It's always a great little shot, that. Pretty hard out in the middle, I might add as well. Brighton have not won on the road this year. Had the draw at Port District, but 0-6-1. And this is the longest road trip in the Adelaide Footy League. Golden Grove, Brighton, I'm not sure. It's pretty close. It's a over an hour long drive in a different part of the city.
Yeah, it is a hike, but no excuses, for not performing, to be honest. Beautiful day out here today as well. Brighton are really good at maintaining possession of the football. They got great structures around the field, so they won't make the travel as an excuse. They need to get the 2 points today. They've had that season where they've beaten the teams just outside the 5, haven't they? Look at Golden Grove was a great win we called early in the year, wasn't it, Phil? And the one we looked at earlier, Tea Gully by 1 measly point in round 7 the last time they met. But a huge win last week. They had a 50-0 third quarter just out of nowhere, didn't they, Phil? And really gave them some impetus. We thought if St. Peter's had won that game, Brighton would have certainly got relegated. But the confidence out of that score, kicking 17 goals, will hold them in good stead for the last 3 rounds.
Yep, coming off a good 28-point win last week at home against St. Peter's. They finish hosting Port District, a team they drew up at Largs, and then will be at Broadview when they finish against the Tigers in the black and gold clash. Let's have a look at the Brighton team, and here's something very unique, Adam. Unchanged from last week. An unchanged side.
I didn't ask Coach Backwell about that previously. They do have some injuries from the start of the year, but an unchanged lineup for Brighton. So that's fantastic. Great win. No additional injuries. They've got, and it's great to see Jarman Segal playing today. We heard that he played for Brighton last Saturday. It was a late call up to the SANFL on the Sunday field, so he played 2 full games of football last weekend. So I dare say his training loads would have been pretty light this week, but he's a superstar player in this competition, Jarman Segal. Love his intercept marking, high marking. Will Rivers, 6 goals last week. He's been a fantastic acquisition. The guy's late in his career, but he's a fantastic mark, giving him a beacon up forward. I'm also a fan of Jake Tarker. I think he's elusive around the goals. And don't underestimate a guy by the name Dylan Lang, number 27, coached against him a few years ago. He's a real sort of in-your-face midfielder, really tough hombre. It gives this Brighton team a little bit of swagger, a little bit of Essendon edge, we'll call it, Phil, a guy like Lang brings. We'll call it the Brighton edge today. So Lang, I think, is a great player and a great in. And like I said, they've got some They've got some scoring ability. How well they'll be able to defend in their back 50. Probably both teams feel. Probably their Achilles heel is their tall defenders. So for the viewers at home, I think we'll see some goals today, Phil. I think both teams will get close to 100 points.
Well, last week, Brighton kicked 17. Will Rivers bagged 6 to be best on ground. And Lachlan Johncock 4. And Jack Francis bobbed up with 3. So that puts them in good nick on a ground where, in conditions where it is optimal for scoring this afternoon. I mean, this is a big paddock up here at Pertaringa.
So lucky out here, Phil, aren't they, that they can use the bottom oval for training. And you can see the condition of this oval is fantastic today. That's why I think we'll see some scores.
Yeah, well, of course, they have met in recent times. Brighton have actually been in Div 1 since 2019, their 6th season in the top tier. Tea Tree Gully came back in 2021, have been here for 4 straight seasons. Mentioned the 1 point loss. The other ones are pretty much split. But yeah, 68-63. So they played a couple of close ones recently.
Yeah, I remember that close one at Brighton in the mud last year, the 68-63 result. Much different ground conditions out here today. Tea Tree Gully, huge win out here last season by 72 points. So,
how many goals to win it today?
Yeah, I think it's a high scorer. Like I said, I think both teams' Achilles heel is their defence, their tall defenders. I see both teams' forwards being able to get on top. I see the beautiful conditions and the beautiful deck. I think 15 goals, you might have to kick 15 goals to win today, Phil.
Our umpiring crew this afternoon, Marek Carls, Adam Forster, Jason Hayes on the field, Anthony Bertoli, Guido Porcaro on the boundary, Roberto Lombardi and Daniel Harold with the goals today. We just went down to the Brighton team. Gentleman I spoke to wasn't quite sure who their captain was today. Certainly it's Blake Penny. I'll recognise that frame anywhere. Well, certainly won't be a problem with the coin getting stuck in the mud today. Brighton won the toss and they are kicking downhill.
Yeah, I called right a screen to the viewers at home would be slightly downhill. And when I was out there at three-quarter time of the B grade game field, there was maybe a little 1 or 2 goal breeze heading that way. Certainly not significant, but probably the right call to head down that way to start the game.
It's amazing. Last time we were up here in the northeast, Adam, we weren't too far away at Harper's Field, and we felt like we were at the Antarctic, or at least that's where the wind was coming from.
That was only a fortnight ago, wasn't it?
It was only 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Today,
jumper is off again today.
Temperature in the 20s, and what a round of footy. Some quick thoughts on this one. At the middle school, Sacred Heart, Glenunga.
Oh, Glenunga. I can't tip against Glenunga, Phil.
They win that, they're minor premiers. Payneham and Port District for the double chance.
Ooh, that is a good matchup. Payneham at home for mine by 1 goal.
Well, for a finals berth, Golden Grove and 7th place Prince Alfred.
Golden Grove need to win that game. Bounce back after last week.
And the one match where there might be a slight favourite, but these two, to be honest, Adam, you just don't know what they're going to put out any given Saturday. Spock and Broadview.
That's a nervous wait this afternoon for Broadview fans, I reckon, Phil. They'll be expected to win, but they're only 1 game ahead, aren't they, of St. Peter's. St. Peter's normally play the Caterer pretty well. That's going to be a close ball game. Expecting a couple of results under 10 points today. And
just our sponsors, of course, we do have the Hahn scoreboard. Dartfish giving you the stats and the replays through the day. Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic, the interchanges. Boundary Riders, Police Credit Union. We do thank Archie's, Belgravia New Apparel for the prizes for the best on ground, plus, of course, the iconic Dartfish beanie. Nearmouth Mouthguards. What play of the day controversy will we have this week?
You know what?
I think I got overridden.
I'm going to say it again, Phil. I won't be intimidated by anyone in the commentary box or any players that want the mouth guard. I'll choose the play of the day when I do the interviews. Okay.
And, of course, we do thank the Moseley Bar and Kitchen for their great support. For the team man of the day, which is sort of an open slather, we'll give it to who we think is deserving. Can't believe someone's putting a hoodie on. There is a little bit
in the shade.
In the shade, it's
get
probably
out in the sun.
Weather. But a lot here today. The cars are ringed around the oval. The past players are gathering inside, and Bogan Pub rocks. So if you're not here this afternoon, come along tonight. We heard, was it Breaking Band? The group playing a bit of a sound check earlier, and they were in fine fettle.
Luke Brown is inside 50 for Tea Tree Gully. Not playing around the ball. He will play up forward.
All right. We're set to rock and roll. Thanks to Filming Footy. This is Div 1 Adelaide Footy League. Who's going to stay in the top tier? Blake Penny. Does his own ruck work and roving work. Sends Tea Tree Gully open. Inside forward 50 to Venning. Venning the quick hand pass out to, that was to Robinson. He's depossessed. Latham comes in for the tackle.
You've got a holding the ball
And it's
decision.
going to be an early shot on goal in the opening 20 seconds of the ball game.
Now, this is Brodie Latham. I've failed to mention him, Phil. He's the equal leading goal scorer in the Division 1 competition this year with 34 goals. For a guy his size playing in a team that's 8th on the ladder, it's a pretty good effort, isn't it? He just bobs up with 2s and 3s and 4s every week, and he's already got the first shot on goal today. So well done to him. I know it's not an individual accolade, but he'll be searching for a few snags in the last 3 rounds.
For 17 years, since under 10s in 2008. He's worn nothing but the black and red sash. This means as much to him as any other player, and he's delivered off the bat. First goal for the Gullies. I think it might be the first of many today, Adam.
Yeah.
It's Teacher Gully 1-0.
It is going to be a high-scoring game, Phil, I think. First inside 50, shot on goal. I have to see a replay on that. I thought it was a little bit of a hot holding the ball call, but it was a good tackle. When you're a small forward, a chase down tackle holding the ball in the set shot, what a way to start for Latham, up to 35 goals for the season.
Human nature says that the defenders get a little bit more leeway than the forwards in those 50-metre arcs, but probably shouldn't, but that's just the human nature of it. Farquhar with the tap on this occasion for Brighton. We've only been going for a minute. It is the Bombers inside 50. And it's a hot footy at the bottom of the pack. Nicely picked up by Book. Lost it, and they still can't get a grip. It's interesting. It's not a cake of soap today. I think you're going to find a lot of the ball bouncing hard this afternoon. Ashbury got a hand on it momentarily. Tapped it forward to Venning. He's got a couple of possessions forward. Brighton repel towards the outer side. Is it going to be touched? Book did get a hand on it. Assisted to see it out of bounds, and that's what you want to do, Adam. Bring the car, put the boot up, bring the dog, the deck chair, and have a touch of the footy.
It's old school, isn't it? Almost reverse the ute in, get the boys up on the couch, up on the ute.
That's
there.
it.
Reminds me of the Southern Footy League days down at Port Noarlunga. Phil used to have the grand finals down there.
Go the Cockle Divers. So an early chance for Brighton. Really, it's been around their 50-metre arc for the last 30 seconds or so. Are they going to get a free kick here? Yep, they are. This is Lockie Sheffield from the Henley Sharks, one of 2 new players. Interesting, Brighton have had... Oh, my goodness! Jake Tucker is taken off.
Wow. Can we get a replay of that, please? That was a hanger.
Let's have a look at this. Let's send a note to...
He got the early ride from on and just stayed up.
Yep.
On Penny as well, the ruckman. So,
well, if you want to get up high...
Deserves a goal, Phil. Hopefully he can slot it.
He does. He's kicked 20 for the year, played every game, and Encounter Bay Junior, played league footy for South. Don't remember him doing that for the Panthers. Can he convert? He can. Well, if Brighton get up, I think I know where that mouthguard's going.
Most important thing there, it finished the work, Phil. Like it's a great highlight, but Brighton need the goal as well. So Tucker's guy, he's on an AFL list at Geelong for a couple of seasons. He's got talent, right? Just took the early ride there on Penny, and just it's one of those ones. If he didn't take the mark, it may have been a free kick against because he really got up, got the hands into the shoulders. But that is a genuine highlight, well captured by our camera people there as well. That's one of the great marks I've seen this season.
Yeah, see that one on between the posts during the week. And the Adelaide Footy League socials, no doubt about it. Cody Tate got the hand pass out. 1-on-1 battle and good clunk taken by Luke Brown. His first touch of the footy, I think.
My early prediction, Phil, of seeing some scores. Every time the ball goes inside 50, it's looking like a shot on goal, isn't it?
It is.
Open play, 6-6-6 there from the centre bounce, get the centre bounce. And Luke Brown just read the drop of the ball there. But good hands as well. Normally when you're a bit fumbly, he hasn't played for 2 or 3 months. You can drop those marks, but that was well taken.
Last game was in the mud pit at Brighton in round 7. Third for the season, and he's sprayed that to left-hand side first behind for the day. And it gives Tea Tree Gully a 1 behind advantage. Bombers to go scoreboard side. Spots up Chalmers. So I think we worked out that if there is a breeze advantage, it's slight, but to the Bombers. As Lang gets the hand pass out, down the centre wing go Brighton, toying with that boundary line. Tucker lurking again, this time no big fly.
Well defended that time by Teacher Gully. Brighton typically on a dry day, Phil, would like to switch the football and maintain and come out the other side. But Teacher Gully defended that well, made them go up the line, forced a stoppage on Brighton's half-forward line.
Some Tea Tree Gully fans, they're just trying to work out if the Gullies, I think the Gullies are playing women's footy today. They're
Finals
in
time.
the Div 2 finals. Just not sure where and when. They centre the ball and coming in is Jarman Segal. I think what happened, Sanford didn't play last week. I did call him playing for Adelaide against the Eagles, so I think he missed the Brighton game but got the Adelaide game and then played Brighton last week with no Sanford. But at the moment, the other ones they've got, of course, are the Boyles playing for Adelaide. Jay and Harry. Jay had an awesome game for Adelaide. I don't think he's ever coming back. Brighton could use him right now.
Oh, he's paid it, the umpire, as well. That was quick.
Well, that's 2. At least it's consistent. Dylan Lang has it. Body language says I'm going to pass it, which he tries to do. Coming out well with the lead, just didn't take the mark, was Will Rivers. And they cleared it. Zach Mackay. There's the ute with the umbrella up, as you were talking about.
What a spot. Segal again with the intercept mark. Oh no, that might be Evans.
Evans will centre it. Inside 50 count, probably favouring Brighton at the moment. They're getting a few shallow ones, but again, a repel by Gullies from Tucker. He does well, spots up Latham, a long way from home. They're running up the middle. Some hand passes, gets it on to James White. They're going to go one hand pass too many, looking for Olsen, the former Red Leg and Bulldog at Sandford level. There's some opponents. One of those is Warner. We'll have a stoppage. Attacking it centre square for the Gullies, leading by 1 point. Uncontested there to Tyler West. I can't remember seeing 3 holding the ball decisions in the first 7 minutes. And that's found the table. That's Brown again.
Yep. Just again, this is the Achilles heel for both teams, Phil, is the tall defenders. You know, that's a ball that just has to be spoilt. When the high, long ball comes in, the defenders need to be on the back shoulder. You take that front position. Luke Brown's too talented. All he has to do is slightly nudge his opponent under the ball and take an easy chest mark. So great start for him. 2 marks inside 50. Teacher Gully's 3rd shot on goal, Phil, from 3 entries. So looking dangerous inside 50.
So just the 3 entries,
Yeah,
and they're
4 to
getting a
Brighton.
3rd shot. Right. And each entry's been deep, which I think has also helped as well. He had the sighter. Could not have kicked that one straighter. Right down King William Street. Luke Brown has his first. The Gullies have their second. They have a 7-point lead. 8.5 minutes gone, first quarter.
Again, it came from pressure, the turnover. I thought the holding the ball decision was right. It was a great chase down tackle. But he got back and got it in long and deep inside 20 metres. And when you've got a guy like Brown that's played a lot of football, you just need to get it in his area quickly, don't you? And something will happen. But again, for mine, the Brighton defenders need to get on the back shoulder and spoil those balls, create the spillages, make him do the follow-up at level at groundwork. Great start for Brown. It's an entertaining game, Phil.
Yep. I think those scoreboard operators are going to be kept busy this afternoon. Do enjoy the old-fashioned scoreboard. I think I'm getting fonder of them. The less and less there are of them, especially ones like this that stand out.
Yes, nice, decent-sized numbers as O'Loughlin Johncock's got the centre clearance after a free kick.
And that's going to be paid a clunk, yep. And might be Book, I think, is taking it. Always the fashion statement with the back knot. Book's kicked just the 1 goal in 8 games, 8 in 7 reserves matches.
He looks confident. As soon as he took the mark, he thought he could kick the distance, didn't he, Phil? He didn't get back quickly and look for a short pass. He believes he's got this in him.
Well, there's a little bit of wind. He probably should. We'll start off in the centre square. Kick will be pretty much on the 50-metre arc from 52. Gives it some height to get that breeze, and it will fall a tad short and wide. Margin back to 1 straight kick.
Is that one of those wasted opportunities, Phil, where you probably don't have the range and it's just easily tapped through?
Actually, I might have to correct myself and say that was Tim Dixon who took the kick. So we've got a couple with the back because there's Book there, and he doesn't.
No, it was Book.
Was Book?
Yeah, it was number 11 who took that mark.
Okay.
Back yourself in, Phil. You had it right.
Okay. We got two that look similar. They both got the hair tied up at the back. That's going to be a fun day. Earlier today, the C grade, well, they won without firing a shot, forfeit, which is not great to see. B grade, a win to Tea Tree Gully by about 8 goals. But it's all about the A's today because where your C's play depend on how your A's do. West does that very well. He gets possession of the ball and just players seem to run off him as Lathan taken high, which was plain for everyone to see.
See what happens here. Fourth entry, they've already had 3 shots. Back shoulder, create a contest if you're on a Brighton defender.
Yeah, time to man up. Although Cody Tape is sort of on the edge with that one at the moment. Brighton have some numbers, but it doesn't matter. Adam Semler. He's got the helmet on. In his first 11 minutes of A-grade footy, he's taken a good grab.
That was a fantastic mark, Phil. And like I said, the Brighton defenders were there on that occasion, but again, unable to get a spoil on the ball under those high kicks inside 50. Tricky little shot here. See how he goes, but it was a great mark on the point post.
Could his first kick in A-grade be his first goal in A-grade? And it is. Watch him get around him. Last year he played 5 in the reserves, 4 in the C's, and 10 in the under-17s. He's one of the 4 100% Tea Tree Gully players we have here today. Sometimes Play HQ doesn't go all the way back. His stats go back to under-10s in 2015. And I mean, we're talking about 2 proud community clubs. They both have huge junior programs. And therefore very rarely have a recruit. And if it is a recruit, it's someone who started here, has gone away and come back.
So that's Semler's first touch in A-grade football, Phil.
Well, unless he had one in the first 7 minutes we missed.
Fantastic mark and a fantastic finish. Well done to him.
Yeah. So the centre clearances, I would say, are pretty even, Adam.
Yeah, 3-2. Brighton's way. Both teams have had their fair share of clear stuff.
Brighton's inside 50s. I like the stat I saw somewhere, not just the inside 50s, but the inside 25s. Because
Yes.
I think Brighton have only had maybe one of those.
The Glenunga stat getting in deep.
Yeah. In the middle, and this time it's Penny. Probably not particularly impressed. He was used as a launching pad earlier. Put some height into this one. They come from all angles. Hot footy inside Tea Tree Gully's forward 50. Gully should get possession, which they do. Sits nicely for Tucker. I think this is still the same inside 50, Adam. They haven't got it out of there yet, so the chance of getting a scoring shot is still alive.
Do look dangerous though, don't they, Tea Tree Gully, every time they go in. But the last 2 kicks inside 50, a couple of really good spoils from Brighton defenders, which will give Coach Beckwell a little bit happier after the previous ones missed.
Yeah, and that one has cleared it, so there goes the streak. Straight to James White, who goes right across the field of play. Warner and McKay battling. Here comes the cavalry and Latham. Warner has him wrapped up. Will be a stoppage. Inside the centre square, 14 minutes gone. Tea Tree Gully leading by 12 points. In a game of consequence, in a round of consequence. Warner does the 2-handed back tap, aka volleyball style. Josh Spence puts the boot into it, beautifully edged out. Boy, I've got to say that's got to be West.
Yeah, good mark by West, but again, Phil, I don't want to sound like a broken record. If the defender plays on his back shoulder, I know a lot of coaches teach their defenders to play in front now, but it's just too hard to defend that high ball.
Yep.
All the player of West sides needs to do is judge it early, little nudge, easy mark. I've said it last week, Phil, if the defender wears him like a turtle shell, he will not mark that ball. So he just needs to adjust his position there. Big Jack Loy, the fullback for Brighton.
Well, it has to be like a pinpoint low pass.
Yes.
That you can't get your arm around.
Happens
And they're pretty
twice
rare.
a season.
Exactly. West delivers his first. It's going good for the Gullies. They've got 4 on the board. And they're now 4-1 as we see the Dartfish replay of this kick.
Yeah, good finish by West, who's a player who started the season so well, didn't he, Phil? He missed a few games. He's up to 24, 25 goals for the season, which is a good contribution. But yeah, that was just a little bit too easy, wasn't it? Again, 6 inside 50s for the Gullies, 4 marks from those entries, Phil, and 5 scoring shots. So very potent at the moment.
Yeah, you kicked 3 goals the last time they met, and what I think was both teams kicked 10, so that was a fair conversion. Penny, the clearance, the kick, sits with Brown. He's getting a couple of touches, which is worrying for Brighton. Cansdale looking, eventually finding Machado, but by the time I got to him, so did the Bombers' defence. Ball up. Brighton lead the next one. And the high-scoring days, you've said, that's a little obvious, but umpire said play on. Semler gets his second kick. This will score as well, courtesy of a behind. On the Hahn scoreboard, Tea Gully 4-2-26, a game-high 19-point lead over Brighton 1-1-7.
That was a better spoil that time, wasn't it, Phil? Much authority, overthrew for a point. Well done to the Brighton fullback on that occasion.
I think Semler was waiting for the whistle to blow and was probably a bit shocked he got away with the kick. Lachlan John Cop straight to Semler, getting a few touches now. Another inside 50, but this one straight to Curtis Perry. Being told to go down the boundary, which he will do. Spots up Finlay Bennett with the flying locks, takes off down the hillside wing of this ground. He's back. Oh, great second effort. Got to like that. And Ehrlich with the mark. Got it back onto Bennett. We're inside 50. Tucker's at it again. Penny says, well, he's given away a free kick.
A little bit unlucky there, Penny, because he's just standing there stationary, protecting himself from
What
the
am
guy
I supposed
coming back.
to do, he said.
Yeah, but clever play by Tucker. A little bit further out on this occasion, it'll be a 45 to 50 metre kick. Slotted the first one after the hanger. See what he can do here.
After his first kick, hard to doubt he won't make it 2. From 49. Again, good height. And spot on kick. Teacher Gully says we touched it, and the goal umpire says, no, you didn't. 2 to Tucker, 2 to Brighton, and they needed that steadier.
Yeah, they certainly did. Well done to Jake Tucker. That's a really good finish, and that's what his team needs. And his team needs him to bob up and have a day out, don't they? He's a guy that's capable of kicking 6 or 7 goals potentially in a game. He's got the first 2 looking sharp for him. Yeah, a little bit unlucky there, Penny, I thought. Technically, the umpire would have seen the hands go out, but I thought Penny had the position. Tucker was running back with the flight, and he was just protecting the drop of the ball. But you take your chances, 50-50 free kick, but the finish was most important.
Teacher Gully coaching hierarchy assessing that one. Penny, I reckon that's the 3rd time today he's got the tap and the centre clearance. And Robinson taken high. A couple of high free kicks given away by Brighton at that end of the field. Hasn't helped their cause. Robinson again. This is a good deep inside 50. And will result in a stoppage.
Just don't get a lot of respite, the Brighton defenders do they? They kick a goal and it's straight back in deep. Teacher Gully's certainly making an effort to attack deep today, aren't they, Phil?
They are, and this time they'll get the clearance, but Gullies have the numbers, including Penny, but good work by Jed Farquhar to create the stoppage. It spills out towards the boundary. They'll just keep it in play through Verrill. But a quick turnover. 45 seconds from time on, a 6-goal quarter. We had 2 in the first 2 minutes. Brighton was fighting over that one, and Asprey just, special comments courtesy of the Brighton bench. A little bit of talking.
Very close here, aren't we?
Might have
Very
helped.
close. Important couple of minutes here for Brighton. They haven't been terrible. They've had some nice centre clearances, some nice passages to play. Next goal, very crucial.
Yeah, the difference between a 3-goal game and a 1-goal game is often feels significant. Pushing the back. Bomber ball.
And that's Lang again. I spoke about him pre-match, Phil. Very good in and under midfielder.
Yeah, he's had a haircut last time I saw.
Yes. I think he had the
mullet
last
going.
time. He had the
Big
Valtteri
time.
Bottas going, I think.
Oh, how's that? Yeah, they're kicking inside 50. He's been good. West has a free player. Is he going to still be free? No, he's going to centre the ball now. Robinson looks up. This is the important kick. Oh, there's a loose Gully out the back. That's too easy. It's Brodie Latham. Gee, can't let him be free like that out the back.
Yeah,
he's got the angle pretty well right.
Again, I feel like the Brighton defenders are taking this attacking position in front, and Latham's out of the lead sideways and backwards towards the goal. Nothing's come on a lead up at the footy yet, has it, Phil? It's all been out the back.
Yeah, look at the gathering out the back behind the goals there. Party time.
Great shot from our cameraman here.
Yes. Yep, great shot. Not from the cameraman, not from the goal kicker.
He'll be disappointed with that, Latham. But looking dangerous going inside 50, aren't they, Teacher Gully? 11 entries, 5 marks, which is a stat. If you're marking the ball inside 50 that frequently, Phil, you're quite dominant.
Yeah, you can see some teams barely get a handful of those a game, and I reckon Teacher Gully are already there in the first quarter.
Yeah, well, we called Golden Grove only had 1 mark inside 50 for the first half last week, Phil. So they're hard to come by, aren't they? Glenunga's defence a little bit different than Brighton's, but again, they're gold. They are absolute gold marks inside 50.
Probably as different as their positions on the ladder.
Because even if you miss the shot like Latham did there, Phil, your defenders get a breather. You can rotate your bench. Your coaching staff aren't panicked because the ball's in their front half and they can talk strategy. So it all just works when you're marking the ball inside 50. It's Tarka again.
He's got a runner momentarily in Lang. I was got to get used to that haircut on the front of the pack. Good bump on Martin. Lachlan Johncock tried to bring it back to him. A little bit of holding off the ball. Umpire letting it go, which is what you want to see, and it was Lang who got the clearance away. Spills to Dixon. He's going with a long hand pass in hope where there's 2-1 Brighton. But that one is Mackay. Look at him go. He's beaten 3 Brighton forwards, got it to within Teacher Gully's forward 50. Where they're the ones under pressure with Jack Loy having to go back. And in the end, it'll sit with Perry.
Good composure there by Venning, just to find the little spot up pass.
On to Segal. And finds Dixon. Dixon to, not the centre, he's going to go down the, looking for Tarka. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? This time he's got a different opponent in Heffernan. Same result. Outside 50. And in the end, disappoints with the kick.
Looking dangerous though, Tarka, isn't he? I know he missed on that kick. He took the mark in the middle of the ground about a minute ago, Phil, and he handballed the ball. He's better off faking that handball and kicking the ball himself. As soon as you give that handball, you invite pressure.
That's what Teacher Gully are trying to avoid, playing kick around at the moment. Tyler's got it on to, I always wonder if it's Mackay. Whatever I say is going to be wrong. Sometimes I just say both. And
just choose both during the day.
That's it. Mix it up. Tomato. Except it is someone's name, so I know that's probably one way they pronounced it. Luke Brown, long way from home. Been in the forwards most of the first quarter, centre wing on this occasion. Loose footy to get, 40 metres out. Can still ran into his teammate and hasn't got back up yet. Looks like he felt that one. Little soccer forward by Martin. Brighton have some numbers and just... I reckon Cairns didn't come off too well from that. Let's see if he comes off for a rest.
Still a little bit sore behind the ball here.
Yep. Dixon brought it to ground. Couple of bounces coming right at us. Goals are the other way.
That is a fantastic run.
Lockie Sheffield. Is it Lockie Sheffield or is it the Bay Sheffield? He's kicked it inside 50, and unfortunately, what you so often see with that, Adam, is you go for such a run, you build up such lactic acid in your legs, you got nothing left to kick with.
It was a fascinating run because he was coming across the ground, wasn't he? Never really see it that way, but great pressure by Brighton have turned the footy back over.
Jack Chalmers high kick, and Teacher Gully looked pretty settled in defence. Quick counter. Looking for Mackay, he lost it. Chance for Bennett to pick it up. He's tackled by Mackay. He's having some really good moments, is Zach. I know I got that bit right. Cross to Olsen. 25 gone on the time clock. Gully's by 13. Another high inside 50. A chance for the Brighton defenders to get a fist on it. Quick tackle. Will come out to O'Loughlin Johncock. Got some options, which he'll use right now. We'll come right to the commentary booth and spot up Jack Francis. Francis is in trouble. Josh Spence got him. That's holding the ball. Probably some debate. Did he get rid of it in time or not?
A little bit unlucky there. I thought he got the handball away. But again, no composure was there, Phil.
Yeah.
Looking to play on quickly. And all you do is invite pressure. Get back off your mark. Get the ball going forward.
Josh Spence told to play on. To that arc. Oh, Mackay was right there front and square and it bounced at his legs. That's the quarter time siren. And for a game between two struggling sides, that sure was entertaining.
Felt like a short quarter too, Phil.
26 minutes.
Yeah.
Capped off by Jake Tarker's fly.
Yes.
In the early stages. We'll talk about that more as the game progresses. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League with Adam Jeffries and Phil. And we're going to take a break, come back with scores around the ground. This is the Adelaide Footy League, thanks to Filming Footy.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Welcome back. That's the scene here. Beautiful blue sky day. Teacher Gully, pretty clever there, Adam. You would have done this on your coaching day. Find the tree with the shade and put your quarter time huddle there, or just say no, tough it out in the sun.
In the pre-season game in March when it's 34 degrees, you might consider it. But yeah, no, why not? If it saves you one little bit of energy that gives you an effort late in the game, why not, Phil?
Yeah, well, it is as warm as it's been for a couple of months probably today. Good polo shirt weather. You can see the score there. Teacher Gully 4-2-26, Brighton 2-1-13. Jake Tarker's mark we'll get to, but probably Teacher Gully's forward efficiency early difference in this ball game.
Yeah, early it was, Phil, but Teacher Gully, I think from their last 7 entries, didn't score. So we saw Latham miss the shot and they peppered them away, but the Brighton defenders finally got some good spoils on and won some ground balls in their deep 50, 14 inside 50s to 10, Phil. So the ball's been pinging from end to end. We've seen some pure centre bounce clearances and some deep entries for Teacher Gully. No doubt they've made it a bit of a mission today to get the ball in deep, try and play a bit of a forward half game. Brighton haven't been too bad though. They've had some nice centre clearances, they've had some nice ball movement. Their half forwards look dangerous, and Tarker we'll talk about, Phil. He certainly looks dangerous in this game.
Yeah, plenty happening around the Adelaide Footy League. This is the round of the season, and there's some interesting scores already at quarter time. At Payneham, the battle for third spot, and it's Port District 36, Payneham 14. 22-point lead to Ditters. Golden Grove and Prince Alfred not far away from here. Looks beautiful at Harpers Field. Golden Grove at quarter time are 10. Prince Alfred are 8. A 2-point lead to the Kookaburras. This one is one that will send a shiver down both teams' spine here. St. Peter's and Broadview. St. Peter's 5-3-39. Broadview 1-7-13. 1-7 in a quarter is not going to help you much. 26-point lead to Spock. Which makes this even more of a must-win.
Big second quarter coming up for Broadview there, Phil. We'll see the score at half-time.
Yeah, as I said, quarter-time scores are one thing. Half-time, where everybody's had both ends to kick to. That's where it's really showing. We do thank our sponsors, Hahn with the scoreboard, Darfish with the replays, Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic. The interchanges, Police Credit Union from the Boundary, Belgravia Apparel, New Balance, the best on ground voucher, along with Archie's, of course, over 50,000 5-star reviews. Dartfish, well, have we got a Dartfish replay for you? Nearmouth Mouthguards, a magic moment. Let's hope Brighton wins, so we get that.
Yeah,
as the undisputed magic moment. And then
I'll go talk to him anyway.
Don't kitchen.
I'll go have a chat with him.
Are you going to override 4 seasons of tradition?
Well, as I said,
and
Phil,
give the mouthguard to a losing player?
I won't be intimidated.
Okay.
So if I feel that that's the worthy winner, we'll do it. Just
okay, so we do have a reason why that PAC Golden Grove game. Thanks for the chat. So there was actually an ambulance called. And that could be a while, so that game's actually in a stoppage.
That's nasty as well. Let's hope that's not too serious.
Second game involving Golden Grove, that's involved too. Remember the B grade last week. So don't have any further details than that. I guess if you want to check out Filming Footy and look up that game.
Did feel like a low score, didn't it, Phil?
10-8 on a beautiful day. Between two teams not really noted for their defence. Prince Alfred have given up some big scores this season. It did seem a little weird.
As you see both teams break from the huddle, Coach Backwell getting some advice from the Brighton supporters who come on, Coach, we don't want to be in Division 2 next year. What's the move?
Young and old.
Are we going to lay a spoil down back, Coach? Getting some friendly advice there. Let's just say Coach Backwell will not be listening to a word that guy's saying.
Well, he's got a McGarry medal. He's been on Letterman. He's handled the big challenges before. He's
been coaching Division 1 for nearly 10 seasons. So
I do remember actually interviewing on a community radio station, Brett Brackwell, the morning after the McGarry, which can almost be a little bit precarious because you don't get much sleep between end of McGarry and the next morning if you win it. He was actually exceptional.
He would have wanted to have the chat.
Given lack of sleep.
Very good player back in the day, the Mouse.
Absolutely. Probably half tempted to, if it gets too tight, don the jumper himself and show them all how it's done. See, he looks like he could play. The first set of clearance will go the way of Cansdell for the Gullies towards Cody Tate, who tries to work around Warner, and Warner has him! Spun around. Yeah, that's got to be holding the ball, no doubt.
That's a classic tackle, isn't it? Pinned an arm, swung him around, but didn't dump him. Good umpiring, great tackle.
No lack of prior opportunity. That was an easy one for the officials to adjudge.
So this is becoming a problem now for Brighton is Penny. He's taken 3 or 4 marks, intercept up the line. They need to make sure that they just bring the ball to ground around Penny because that'll change the course of this match if they can do that.
West as a target further up. He's providing similar support, if not marking. He's in the contest. He was a bit worried there for a moment. He was about to put Jack Loy into the back of that station wagon. Thankfully didn't. And we've got a little injury happening here on the sideline. Just not great to see.
I think that's Farquhar, the
Scott Merlick on and Farquhar, the rucks. I reckon Penny's doing well now if he's up against the backup ruckman.
Might be why Penny was uncontested on the wing there before. His opponent was hobbled, so he just took the easy intercept mark.
It was West with the ruck. Quick pick up and kick by Tea Tree Gully towards the bounce. Is going to be huge. And just desperation by Will Cheeseman Dutton. One number I haven't called yet, and I'm waiting for it, is Hudson Crawsick, number 24 for Tea Tree Gully, because they nickname him Cheese. And then we've got Cheeseman Dutton.
The Cheese
So
Fest.
it's the battle of the cheeses today. Hope they line up against each other at some point. Actually, there he is right there, number 24. Got the ball right now. How's that for call on the play ahead of time?
Let's hope that's not a injury that's going to end his day, Farquhar, but not looking good.
No.
When the boot's off and you can't put any weight, so it might just be an classic ankle injury there. But sometimes you can strap them up and get back, Phil, so let's see what happens.
Still a fair bit of time to go in this game to recover from that. Yeah. As Warner with the clearance. Oh, couldn't quite pull it in, was Rivers. One player who we haven't called much of today is Will Rivers.
He hasn't been in a lot of contests, has he, Phil?
He's in this one.
He's in this one. He's been anchored to the goal square a little bit. Maybe he just needs to set his starting position just a little bit higher, just to make sure Penny doesn't take those intercept marks, because he's a great contested aerial player, Will Rivers. They'll need him to get into the game soon.
Yeah, well, there's Penny. He's up against Dixon now on the ruck. Let's see how this contest goes.
Dixon's done a lot of ruck work, so
he won that easy.
If Farquhar is injured for a while, Dixon's more than a handy ruckman.
Yeah. It sits at the base for Brown, shows his skills, gets it out to Chris Olsen. Olsen looks further down to West. Back to Brown, who started this, looking to finish it with a long kick towards the square. Will it be shepherded through? No, it won't. It'll be touched by Ty Murphy. Fourth behind for the Gullies. They go to 4-4-28. Brighton 2-1-13. 15-point margin, I think, is as high as it's... God, it was 4-1 before. So I think it's probably been 20 points is the biggest margin.
Brighton's defenders have just tightened the screws a little bit, haven't they, Phil? Some better spoil, some better tackling, some goal-saving lunges.
It looks like an extra number there as well. I'll see a little bit at a stoppage if they do have the loose player back. They've worked it out nicely, though, to Alex Book. Looking for Dixon. He's taken a good grab.
Free kick to Segal, mark not paid.
So, gee, between Segal and Dixon and Book, they've certainly got some height around the place, and that's without mentioning the ruckman and Farquhar.
And
how's that for a kick?
And your man Rivers, great lead.
Yep.
Great passage of play from Brighton from D50. That was I mentioned the first quarter, Phil. It lacked a little bit of composure, but that time it didn't have to be fast. It was composed play, and they've gone from D50 to a shot on goal.
Rivers can just about order the Kransky with the lot. If you ever come out here to Ray White Tea Tree Gully Oval, I recommend it. It is something else.
Oh, yeah. Great camera shot here as well. Not going to stay with it.
Let's see what Rivers does. Starts right. Does it swing back? No, it does not. Well, they might all count in the end. They're behind. Brommer's second on the Hahn scoreboard, 2-2-14. Tea Tree Gully 4-4-28. So double the score at the moment. 5 minutes into the second quarter. Round 16 of 18. After this, just 2 games left and then the finals. And filming footy will bring it all to you, including the big grand final, which I think is Saturday, September 21.
Already looking forward to that one, Phil.
Segal into that pocket. Oh, couldn't be taken.
I'd be disappointed with that Book, because I think it was a miss kick from Segal, but it actually laced him out to the perfect advantage side. But he spilt the mark. But Brighton attacking again. Need to kick the first goal of this second quarter. Stay in touch.
So quarter time, it was what? 4 goals, 3 to 2 goals, 2?
1.
2 goals, 1. Thanks, mate. Off hands, chance for a soccer. Taka is lurking now. He plays defender up forward. And in the end is given away.
He's
the
paid
free
the
kick.
high. It was one of those touch and go ones that could have been prior and holding the ball, but tackle just slipped higher.
So Tea Tree Gully by 14 points at the first break. Penny should take that uncontested. Another player who's noted got a great collection of beanies over the 4 seasons we've been covering this comp. To Murphy. Murphy tries to place the kick just over Higgins, who was pushed out of it. Penny comes in, shows his brute strength, somehow got boot to that.
For mine, that's a dump tackle. And I think the umpires paid it. Yeah. Just that extra action there that we're probably getting out of the game now, aren't we? No injury.
You wouldn't even have given it a second thought.
4 years ago, you would have said, great tackle.
Yeah.
Now, no injury to the player, which is fantastic. Nothing more to see, but right decision by the umpire.
It's Riley Verrill. He's heading in the west direction. Double team. And Ty Murphy comes over the top.
Fantastic mark from Murphy.
Very acrobatic.
Looking a lot better behind the ball in the last 20 minutes of football, Phil.
Yeah. Brighton and matching Tea Tree Gully. I don't think it's the end. Has Penny pushed, held?
It was hanging on. Is it Nerlich here with the ball? Yeah, it was just hanging on in the marking contest, given the handball to Murphy.
Not really sure that was huge advantage. He was a bit pushed, but there's a clunk within scoring range.
And that's Rivers again.
Well, he's had a sight, a bit like Luke Brown in the first quarter, isn't it? Had the sight. I would think he's going to kick this one. Man of his experience, Will Rivers.
Just look better, haven't they, Brighton? Much more solid behind the ball. They've turned the ball over and repeatedly put the ball back in. If they can just stop Penny around the ground, Phil, that's going to be the key to them getting back and getting in front of this game.
Ends up straight in front because he marked in the goal square. Rivers has his first. Brighton, I reckon, have kicked the last two and get it back to an 8-point margin. On the Hahn scoreboard, as we watch the Dartfish replay, Teachford Gully 4-4-28, Brighton 3-2-20.
Both teams have now taken 5 marks inside 50 for the game, Phil, and we spoke pre-match. That was going to be the Achilles heel, wasn't it? On a dry day, long kicks going inside 50, tall defenders for both teams, young and inexperienced. So we're going to see some marks inside 50 today.
Well,
and
we've got controversy. We're out by a point.
somebody's out by a point.
Somebody's out by a point. No, we're not. We're all there. Okay. Back in the middle, Penny. Little deft tapped, only as far as Lachlan Johncock, however. Great
crash
collision. Hope they all get back up. Some of them are a bit slow to do so. Now they're all up. That's good to see. Eventually, Gully pick up. Didn't really look because there's no one there but Blake Higgins. I mean, seriously, there was no one within 15 metres of him when he took that grab. It's going to be a pretty rapid turnover. Higgins trying to put some methodology into this. That's your worm burner pass. That's the one you can't defend.
No.
Staying on the shoulder, taking the mark by Dylan Lang. Too far out to score. He'll put it up. It's going to lob top of the square. And it's another cock. How many marks up forward are we seeing today?
That's 3 deep inside 50 this quarter.
Dixon.
Dixon it was, yes. And again, they'll be disappointed, the tall defender. Not on the back shoulder, he's just leant on him. He's taken it with the one arm there.
Everybody missed it and it just lobbed in his elbow.
That was probably a better mark than I gave it credit for, Phil. That was just hugged it to his chest with the one arm.
This to make it a 3-point footy game. He delivers his first, 5th for the season. Tim Dixon spent some time at the Port Magpies, all the way from the football mecca of Jindalee. Do you know where Jindalee is?
No, I don't, Phil.
It's the centenary suburbs of Brisbane, out west. Go to Indooroopilly.
I've heard of that suburb.
Okay, just keep on going a bit past Indooroopilly, you'll end up at Jindalee.
Brighton's spreading the net far and wide with their recruiting. But that was a great mark. And he's in the ruck currently as well, Dixon. So he's drifted forward with the injury to Farquhar. Ball's been locked in Brighton's half of the ground, and he's just gone into the top of the goal square and taken a great mark.
Whatever alterations Brighton were forced to make seems to have actually been the right formula. Dixon in there battling hard for it. Won't win it this time. Ashbury should pick it up. They've got numbers. They do get the kick. Eventually there's a Tea Tree Gully clearance, but only as far as Ty Murphy. They just look a little bit more settled going forward. That one under pressure.
They'll be downfield as well. And Rivers might get this inside 50 in range, potentially.
Wasn't a lot in that. Semler coming in and the youthful exuberance on debut. Of course, if you missed the first quarter, one of the highlights. Him kicking first goal with, I think, his first kick. And, yeah, Rivers is saying, I've got this. And if he can nail this, the Bombers are in front.
Yeah, they've dominated this second quarter, Phil, with field position. Like I said, they've tightened up at half back, intercepted all of Tea Tree Gully's forward forays and pumped the ball back in where their tall forwards look very dangerous.
Straight in front. He's closer than I thought he was, about 47. Goal umpire not moving. Except to look at fly over his head. Rivers is into the contest with his second, and the Bombers of Brighton take the lead for the first time today.
Yeah, we said about 5 minutes ago we hadn't spotted Rivers. Since then he's taken 3 marks, kicked 2 goals, 1 Phil. So commentator Curse has worked in his favour there.
We're available. Weddings,
anytime,
bar mitzvahs.
Anytime, Will Rivers. But now, great finish by him with the downfield free kick. And it was him before as well, laid that big crash when he came out of full forward from the previous centre bounce as well. So he's up and about, Brighton up and about. Didn't look good in that first 10 minutes. Looked too easy for Tea Tree Gully. But since then, Brighton have tightened the screws around the ball. And that half back, giving themselves a lot of repeat entries. 6 inside 50s to 2 this quarter, Phil.
Well, for all those watching this, I can tell you that there is no 5-goal breeze heading to the left of screen. But that seems to be where the majority of goals have been kicked so far today. Penny, as he does so well, He's a one-man midfield, Blake Penny. Spills to Olsen. Just tackled in the nick of time. Too high tackle. I think this will be Cheeseman Dutton who ends up with it. Dixon is by the interchange bench saying, kick it to me, I'm open. Will they come in the Penny direction? It'll be interesting if they do. They do. Okay. Penny doesn't go for the contest on this occasion, stays a handball back, and where's that 7-second dump on? Hang on.
Really well done by Lachlan Johncock there, Phil. They're wary of Penny's influence around the ground, and he just subtly made sure he didn't get a run and jump at that ball, and they get the stoppage. Much better than a Penny intercept.
Yeah. They have a roving maul set up just at the moment. Not another stoppage. So 13 and a half gone. This game is very interestingly poised. Tetrick Valley, the early ascendancy. And since about probably the 20-minute mark, Brighton have wheeled him back. Umpires. Bennett was off. Now he's gone the wrong way.
It is a Tetrick Gully free kick here. This is going to throw them out because...
Yeah, now watch, everybody who's run to the left is now going to do a U-turn and head to the right. And that's going to be 25 minutes for wasting time.
I believe it was the back and forth of the umpire that Dixon had.
Dixon,
I was watching it closely.
And that's a big 25, I might add.
He was a little bit amused by the decision, but he really needed to let it go easy in the commentary box when you're out in the field and frustrated, I understand.
So Blake Penny has not kicked a goal this year in his 15. He's played every game. He's got 9 best player awards. Going for his first goal. He puts a heave into it. What a way to get your first goal of the season. And with that, the lead goes back to the Gullies. And for the first time today, Adam, maybe I wasn't listening before, the horns are honking at Pertaringa.
I think maybe it's just everyone at the ground knew Penny hadn't kicked a goal for the year, maybe. He's been such
They're all listening to us.
He has been a dominant player, hasn't he? I'm surprised he hasn't kicked a goal, but he's a classic ruckman that does a lot of his work behind the ball, doesn't he, Phil?
Yep, and he'll hand pass to the runner on many occasions, I'm sure.
And you mentioned before, he has been a bit of a one-man wrecking crew. If Penny's not out in the field today with his intercept marking that goal when they needed it, Brighton are 3 and 4 goals up. So he's been a dominant player thus far. Needs a few of his teammates to come with him.
All right, so it's a goal-for-goal game now. And we've got another half of this to go. I mean, you look at the ladder and you say, oh, we got 8th versus 9th. But you knew off the bat it was going to be a big game. That's just how the Adelaide Footy League works, and we love the structure of it. Segal eventually gets the kick around the body, and he's found a teammate in Jack Francis, true centre wing on the, I almost want to call it the station wagon ute side. Further player upfield. Inside 50, I'm not sure who was leading, or maybe kick was a tad short. Aerial ping pong. James White was courageous to get it because he knew as soon as he touched it, he was going to be set upon.
Again, Tarker, he's been such a good player today, though, Phil, but he's missed on 2 kicks inside 50. He's a guy that can nail those passes.
Yeah, tried to play
Here
for
he
the
goes
free,
again.
didn't get it. Takes the snap and...
What's the goal umpire paid here? That was
That's a
super
goal.
close to the post.
It's a goal.
Do we have a ground level visual on that?
We had
Teacher
a-
Gully not overly remonstrating, though, Phil.
Let's have a look at the Dartfish replay, which doesn't give you the depth perception. Yeah, you probably have to say that did go in and curved around afterwards.
And you know what? The goal umpire was in a perfect position under that post, Phil, and I like it. Unlike the AFL score review, he thought it was a goal and he backed himself in. Love it.
Well, you got no choice. There's a
And
goal umpire of 3 years' experience, myself, for the under 8s for Happy Valley and under 10s, which have much shorter goalposts, I can tell you.
Yeah, the short goalposts are a killer, but I think that's Tarker's 3rd goal, Phil, isn't
Yep.
it? He's been a dominant player.
So he could
far.
have mark of the day and goal of the day.
Yes, he could.
But will he be on the winning side to get a prize? We will find out. Or will Adam break tradition and do it anyway? Just don't go anywhere, folks. Forget about the relegation battle.
The only stat that Brighton haven't won this quarter, Phil, is the centre breaks, 5-1 for Teacher Gully, but
Really?
Brighton have intercepted them every time, yeah.
Yeah, because because Penny is doing them so rushed, it's almost like Brighton are setting up a kick behind, waiting for it. Will be Bombers' ball. Or will it? No, my apologies.
Turnover holding
James
the ball.
White holding the ball is the call. The good fly. I thought this lad's got a bit of promise, Adam Sandler. Let's take another grab.
Yeah, he's got a high mark, hasn't he? That was a good float and fly. Tricky shot for goal here, though. He'll look for the short pass.
And in the end, had a player at the back. Brighton with some numbers if they can stay poised. Jack Lloyd, one of those. Kick though intercepted. They'll go back again. Machota. Tell you what, you do well being a tattooist for these teams as the sponsor. There's quite a few with some really good sleeve work.
I think we've got a push in the back here, Phil, to Tyler West in the marking contest.
No, Robinson, I think you'll find.
No, it is going to Robinson. You're right. West went back. He wanted the kick very smartly. He said that was me.
So Robinson's kicked 5 goals this season. Again, one of, what did I say it was before? 4, maybe 5 players that have played in no other jumper but Tea Tree Gullies, from juniors all the way through. A couple of them have gone on to Norwood or Central and come back. So it is a 3-point deficit. I think we've gone goal for goal for goal for goal the last 4. And that one is a miss. 3-point deficit becomes 2.
Brighton will be disappointed with the push in the back decision, but you know what, Phil? I'd rather, as a defensive line coach, my defenders putting their body in than allowing the uncontested mark make the umpire make a decision. They've certainly tightened up down back.
Yeah, some free kicks are more irritable to coaches than others. If you're having a crack, so be it. If it's the umpire's fault, which tends to be often according to coaches, well, can't blame the player. Kick in finds Bennett. He's got a runner, except didn't go over his mark. There's one rule I could get rid of.
Yeah.
That would be, I
Just
don't know
play.
how you get rid of it, but don't know. Jack Lloyd. Yep. Kick down the wing. Well, they can raffle it here, the Gullies. It goes to McKay. Quickly on to Verrill in a bit of space before Lachlan John Cock can descend. They're so high with the kicks. And in the end, that just gave a chance for Segal to get a running leap. He comes out in the O'Loughlin John Cock direction, who goes to Shepherd, gives away a free in the process as Murphy was ready to take off.
A little bit
This is
stiff
Riley
there,
Verrill.
O'Loughlin John Cock. The idea was certainly right.
Execution.
Potentially.
Not great.
A little bit unlucky.
William Cansdell centres it up. There's the mark to Luke Brown. Probably one of the first touches he's had this quarter.
Yeah, a little bit easy there, but on the turnover, Phil Brown just found himself on his own. Like I said, a little bit of an unlucky free kick against, but good composure that time going inside 50, taking your time, making sure you hit a teammate.
Got him for 1-1. He was one of the best players, kicked 3 goals when these two last met. Yeah, last time it was West, Latham and Brown all kicked 3 goals each in what was a 1-point loss. From 45. Straight as. 2 goals to Luke Brown. And the lead changes again.
Just had the arm wrestle go back their way in the last 5 minutes, haven't they, Phil? Teacher Gully. They've had 6 of the last 7 inside 50s, a lot of repeat entries. It'll be interesting to see what happens later in the day, but there was a real turning point, that goal to Penny as well, wasn't it? And a straight shot from Luke Brown there as well, from the turnover, and nice composed kick inside 50. Again, Jarman Segal on the previous exit took the great intercept mark, but the lazy left foot kick that missed the target, which caused the turnover with the O'Loughlin John Cock Shepherd. So he'd like to have that one back again, just tidy that up. Brighton, they're still looking solid.
Some of the lads down behind the other goals enjoying their afternoon at watching the A's run around. Gully's clearance to Mackay. I'll tell you what, Murphy's got some very good athleticism about him, but Olsen got the ball further on. He's going to get it right now back to Cansdell. Cansdell standing start from 40. I'll tell you what,
That's in.
he had no room to work with on that kick. No chance to get a run up and momentum. He's got some power in that boot. Teacher Gully have got 2 in a row. Have broken the goal for goal scenario. Let's watch this. Hand pass. 1 bang.
One step, yeah. And that's not easy to do, ladies and gentlemen at home. Looks easy, but when you have no momentum, you just stand and deliver like that, it's hard to get any penetration and distance on your kick. So that was a great goal by Cansdell. But it's coming from the centre clearance field, 6-1, Teacher Gully's way. Brighton getting the first touch, but Teacher Gully just hustled them out of possession and got the centre clearance again.
Margin to 10 points, which in some games can be a decent buffer. I don't think that's the case today. We've had 13 goals kicked and get the feeling we're not done yet in this quarter. 23 and a quarter gone. Another centre clearance to Teacher Gully. What was your stat on that again, Adam?
7-1 now
7
this quarter.
to 1.
Phil. So that's a domination, isn't it? Like I said, it hasn't been anything pure. It's just been pressure. They've pressured Brighton out of possession numerous times and just got the ball going their way.
So we've had a top knot, back knot interchange. Dixon off, Book on.
Do you reckon the runner just said, top knot on, top knot off?
I reckon that'd work.
He'll go straight and hopefully stop Penny taking in set mark here.
Snap off the pack by Brown, who's missed absolutely everything. Have to go into the car park and fetch the ball.
You'd be disappointed if you're the Brighton defensive line coach. So the stoppage at D50, the one thing you don't want to happen is Luke Brown get an uncontested snap-on goal. You know, there's got to be body pressure on that guy.
He won't miss by that much too often.
Luckily sprayed it wide. Brighton just need to be composed with their ball use out of the half-back. A couple of times they've been rushed, had some lazy kicks. Just maintain their composure. Better kick from Perry there.
So Warner has it. Been a while since he's been up Brighton's end of the ground. And Teacher Gully have had a chance to set up. Looking for Book, who's fairly fresh. Penny, big thump from behind. Asprey with the recovery. Looking for West, just missed him in the end pretty easily for the Bombers to get it onwards to Bennett. Back
Again,
to Perry.
Just need some composure here, Brighton.
Loy will head towards the scoreboard where he's got a player at 50. This is Will Rivers. Too far out to 50 was a bit hopeful. On to Tarka, who's been, well, he's got to be in consideration for a lot of stuff. Hasn't helped his cause there, though, with a poor kick with the last disposal rule. Will give it right back to Teacher Gully in front of the fan base behind the goals.
Won't be long to go in this quarter, Phil. Brighton need to lock the ball in their half and try and find the next goal if they can, because they've had a pretty good quarter by the last 5 minutes.
Teacher Gully have kicked the last 2. They've scored 3 goals, 3, and Brighton have scored 4 goals, 1.
And Penny again with another mark. We don't have the...
By the way, he holds the ball like must have a mountain of a hand.
Just like holding an apple.
Just,
it?
it looks like that. You can see it fully stretched there. Oh, play on and done.
Yeah, right call there. Lack of awareness from Penny and not a lot of talk from his teammates there. He was trying to milk the clock, Phil, knowing that it's late. Take his time. But I like John Cox had some heads-up plays today. He's a clever player. He was right onto him. He's always trying to shepherd for his teammates. He's a clever player. And he thinks he's got the distance here, does he?
Well, he's certainly showing like he's going to take a shot. Of course, he's inside. He's at 50.
Oh.
Short by a couple of metres. They've managed to keep it in, Brighton. Kudos to them. See, there's a lot of players in that goal square at the moment. Teacher Gully is literally trying to score the rugby league try. Now through some desperate hands, they'll clear it. Who's got numbers to form a ring? Here it comes right back at you. But there was about 4 Teacher Gully players who could have marked it. James Wright was the one who did.
Dodged a bullet there, Teacher Gully. The exit kick right up the corridor late in the quarter, Phil. Not one that the coach would have liked, but dodged a bullet there.
Dodged a bullet indeed. Well, when you kick it back in from there and it goes straight to 3 Teacher Gully players, it probably means there would have been a spare Brighton one somewhere. It's a 10-point margin, 27 gone.
Luke Brown looking for a deliberate call there, I believe, but it'll be thrown in. Won't be long to go here, Phil.
Wrong leg, Luke.
Yeah. Insufficient intent in the top level, he's saying.
Yeah, we're not at Adelaide Oval anymore, I'm afraid. Oh, two players going at it there. They both emerged. I had visions of a head-to-head clash. Thankfully, didn't happen. Little tap on from Chalmers amongst. They're only as far as the Gullies though. Around the body. Bennett goes back with the flight. Robinson under pressure gets the kick away in the Latham direction. Trying to get around his opponent deep in the Pertaringa pocket. Stays in bounds. No.
I think he gave it away himself there, Latham. He did the great dodge and weave and he realised he was out and he stopped. Whereas the goal umpire was, the boundary umpire was caught a little bit behind and he might have got away with one there.
Except he stopped. Play the whistle.
What an honest player.
Yeah. Doesn't get you anything.
Right decision made in the end.
Throw in. Can the Gullies get a late one? 28 and a half minutes gone. Oh, look at this from Olsen. He's missed.
Hit the post. That post is wobbling.
That's a couple of times Tea Gully players got open from a stoppage. Luke Brown earlier and Olsen then, and only just one behind from those two chances.
That time he was actually out goal side. He'd be disappointed when he watches the replay during the week that he missed that one. I know it's easy and he would have felt more pressure coming.
It's so easy here.
It's very easy in here, Phil.
We can look at it live. We
Don't
can
have
look at it on the
36
monitor.
people running around us looking to belt us in the back of the head, do we?
If we needed, we could put the air conditioner on. It's very easy.
That's a great mark by Lachlan Joncott on the kick out.
Yeah.
It just needs to be composed here again.
Yeah, and not do that. Well, that. I think everyone's just hoping half-time will come. Skill level's getting a little poor. It's in Perry's hands, 29 and a half minutes gone of what has been a 7-goal quarter after a 6-goal quarter. So it might be, I don't know, 14, 15 goals needed to win this one. Real Rivers, although games do tend to open up a bit after half-time.
They can.
They can, yeah.
Both teams' forwards have looked dangerous all day.
There's your siren. There will be no more scoring in this quarter, but there's a half to go. A good one for Brighton, but in the end, Tea Gully recovered, and after leading by 14 points at the first change, it'll be the home team by 11 points at the main change. Tea Gully 7-7-49. Brighton 6-2-38. We're going to take a break, see what we can find scores around the grounds of some critical matchups in the Adelaide Footy League. You're with Adam Jeffries, Phil Herden, Hugo, James, Elias, the crew here. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
It's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HEC stat doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
We've been housemates for what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
It's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got a little bit something to talk about here with the scoreboard. The game at Harpers Field, there was an injury. It was a bad ankle injury to Wade Chant from Prince Alfred Old Collegians. It was in the earliest stages of the first quarter. You can see there by the score. And they haven't actually got the game back underway. In fact, they have now. In good news, they have got the game back underway. How they're going to play it out, I really got no idea because it's the 22-minute mark of the first quarter. Hopefully, I guess they get as much of the game in as they can.
What's the rule
daylight.
there, Phil? So they've restarted the game where it stopped.
Yep.
Not just taken a half time and played the third and fourth
they
quarter.
would maybe shorten the breaks.
Twilight match, get the yellow footy out.
Well, there are lights at Harpers Field, quality to be determined, and I guess the umpires have the right to decide when the light gets too bad to play.
It's a real interesting one, isn't it? And one thing I'll say from experience, I had Phil, it's for the Prince Alfred players that have seen their mate go down, it's a real tricky one, real tough day for them now, but they're leading, so good on them and glad the game's back up and running.
And about to get another shot on goal. So that's good, but just a little bit of extra things to throw into the mix for a big game for both. St. Peter's and Broadview was the game that was really interesting at quarter time. St. Peter's up by 26. Broadview have come back and now within 8.
A little bit more accurate in the second quarter.
Correct. 4 goals, 1 after going 1 goal, 7. As you can see, Brighton coming out for it's a very important game for both. I was in the bar, as you'll find me at halftime, just to get my waters, of course, Adam. And you can often tell a lot from the chatter at the bar. And one of the conversations went, it's a close one. Yeah, we always seem to be in a close one. And Teacher Gully, of course, we've mentioned single-digit games, Norton 5 this season. Brighton,
they're due, aren't they, Phil?
Brighton are a little bit better. I'll give you that record in a sec. Just that other game, Port District and Payne. This is for the double chance. What we know in most times is pretty important. Port District on the road lead by 44 points. That's a big gap at half-time, 70 to 26. The one game, unfortunately, being at the Sacred Heart Middle School, where we do have some issues with the setup there, no score in the game between Glenunga and Sacred Heart.
Still amazing that this part of the season, they haven't sorted out a score from the Sacred Heart Middle School, Phil, with all the technologies around.
Yeah.
But anyway, conversation for another day. Next season, they'll have that sorted.
Well, thankfully, Adam, this game is giving us more than enough to talk about.
Yes.
It's ebbed and flowed, and even though the Gullies have the 9-point lead, you could just see Brighton erasing that in an instant. We've seen Will Rivers have a purple patch, kick 2 goals almost back to back, I think. We've seen Luke Brown come in and out. He's got some goals. Penny has dominated the ruck. Brighton often are ready for that, sometimes not. What factors do you think are going to... What factors... James always has the ability to find the interesting and the obscure. What factors do you think are important in Teacher Gully or Brighton getting the chocolates?
Yeah, sorry, my heart's melting here. I'm going back to talking some footy now.
Who wants to pat that little puppy dog?
Yeah, wow, there we go. Look, interesting half of footy, wasn't it, Phil? So Teacher Gully dominated the first 10 minutes. Looked like it was just easy. They took easy marks inside 50, and as a coach, that's the one thing you don't want is the opposition doing. Brighton tightened up their defence. Their defenders started to spoil the ball, and they got some repeat entries, and their forwards took their turn. And for about 40 minutes, it looked like it was all Brighton, and then Teacher Gully again came back and looked like they dominated the last 6 or 7 minutes of that quarter. So it's an even ball game. 27 inside 50s Teacher Gully have had, so they've had the better of it. The one stat that stands out for me is 10-4 centre breaks in the first half, Phil. So that's an area Brighton need to tidy up. Blake Penny, I thought, single-handedly kept his team in the game. There was a big play, wasn't it? The reverse free kick and the 25-metre penalty. Then Brighton had all the running, had kicked 3 or 4 goals in a row. And then Penny kicked the settling set shot. And that was his first goal for the season, Phil, which was amazing to me. He's been such a good player, but like we said, he does all his work behind the ball, not forward of the ball usually. So, yeah, it's an even ball game. Brighton have had their moments. They just need to use a little bit of composure at half-back, Phil, for mine, as the 220 out of Qatar again. We catch every week.
Wherever we seem to be on the flight path. Broadview, Golden Grove, Tea Tree Gully. Anyway.
There's always something happening here at the footy, isn't there? But yeah, so it's an even ball game. Brighton's certainly not out of it. Teacher Gully have had their moments, just got their noses in front. Our pre-match prediction, Phil, be interesting to see if it does open up in this second half, because you might have to kick 100 points to win this game.
Yeah, what are we now? 13 goals. Yeah, probably you're right. 100. I think if anyone does get to it, when was the last team that kicked 100 points and lost?
In the Adelaide Footy League Division 1.
It's been a while.
No, I've never seen it in my time.
I'm just going through some scores and I don't see any on my list here. So yeah, that's the status.
Maybe Brighton Paynham early in the season.
Brighton Paynham, that's a good one. Brighton Paynham, you have very good.
That was a weird game.
That
one,
was
though.
34 goals. Paynham kicked 18. Brighton kicked 14.
So Brighton kicked 100 points in that game and didn't win.
101 to 121.
Which is very unusual in Division 1. You kick 100 points in Division 1, you win.
And that was Brighton's highest score of the season until last week, when they kicked 17-7 and down St. Peter's, who, as I mentioned at the moment, are narrow leaders over Broadview.
Yeah, so Brighton just need to keep the scoreboard ticking over. Both teams will have their turn. But yeah, Penny for mine. They've got to put some work into him. They need to compete with him around the ground. It's almost like his opposing ruck needs to tag him, not let him take the intercept marks, and not let him do what he wants behind the ball. He would have taken 7 or 8 marks in this game already.
Just wondering if we're seeing Dixon coming out. I'm not sure that we have.
Was it Farquhar that got the
injury?
Farquhar,
sorry. No, Dixon is out doing the shoelace
be
up.
one down. And is Dixon who's had to ruck the game out for them as the second ruck?
Preparing by doing up his shoelaces. And that must be almost the team mascot, that dog. Getting close to the Gully's bench. There's our broadcast van. You can see we're in the Filming Footy Mobile Media Centre for the afternoon. I hope you're enjoying the coverage. Phil Hurd and Adam Jeffries and the Filming Footy crew. Thankfully, there goes the three-quarter time. Sorry, let's get into some footy. Penny the tap. That's a little bit more traditional, Gully's clearance. Inside 50 she goes. Brighton pushing towards the boundary. It won't be real deliberate. It will be a throw-in.
He'll be disappointed with that, Coach Backwell. Again, they're sure he would have talked about the centre bounce work at half-time, and then an easy tap and a takeaway.
Probably all went to Penny, which freed up the rest of the Tea Tree Gully midfield.
You can see here Dixon hasn't gone down to take the ruck. He is staying with Penny, which is a good move.
Yeah, the ruck work there done by Jack Lloyd. Another battle by the boundary line, and usually the boundary line wins those, and that is the occasion there.
So I like this ploy from Brighton. Like I said, they've gone one-on-one. Typically, Dixon would be at this ball, contesting the ruck, and Penny would be a +1 behind the ball, but they've made it one-on-one all over the field.
So James, our mobile cameraman, is he's going to give the boundary umpire a little bit of coverage in the early minutes. It is Tea Tree Gully going to the left of your screen, where we've kicked 8 of the 13 goals. To the right, not surprisingly, 5 of the 13. And yeah, you're going to kick it. Do you really, when you're clearing it out, do you really have to keep an eye on where number 18 is and try and keep it away from him?
It's a weird one. So Dixon tried to run him away from the ball, and Penny said, nah, I'm just going to go to where the ball's dropping.
Yeah. Apologies for the sound effect. Someone's car alarm's gone off just to our right. Well, there. Thankfully they found the keys. Going to be a stoppage as Venning's tackled by Olsen. Let's see, well, a couple of times Tea Tree Gully have got some shots here. West trying to be the one-man wrecking crew. He got the kick away and missed absolutely everything.
Great strength there from West, though. He's had a guy hanging on to him, and he still managed to get a good snap away. He's copped a bit of a cork thigh out of it.
Yeah.
But great strength to get a kick away while someone's hanging off you like that.
That's 3 shots Tea Tree Gully have got from stoppages. I reckon you keep giving them opportunities, they're going to get a goal out of it eventually.
Played a throw there, little scoop up.
Very well time to spot up Cansdell. Works around Nerlich, finds a target. Okay, here come Tea Tree Gully through Robinson. Can they get a clunk? No, West kept away from the ball on that occasion. Brighton have it. They're going to move it with a bit of speed to Warner, who takes the stretch. Here's a runner. It's Murphy looking for Book. In the end, Sheffield has it. Sheffield, who had that, we're going to only called Sheffield once today. Look, he might, just because I haven't caught him, he's on touches of the football, but He had that incredible run, didn't he, where he took
Across-
4 bounces towards us,
Across the ground.
then headed towards goal and kicked it right down an opponent's throat.
It was an exciting play. Nothing came of it, though, but a great run.
Yeah, got us excited. It's a hot footy 48. Was there a trip, a tackle? Oh, play on. No, sorry, Gully's ball. And a big thump from behind by Justin Evans, who took care of Luke Brown in the process.
Shout out to the Brighton defenders, Phil. You can see the body position. He's behind his opponent. Big spoil. So hard to play against.
Right where Coach Jeffrey says to play.
Yes. And Jack Loy as well has taken that position. He's been much better since the first 10 minutes.
I don't think we've had a score. First 4 minutes of this quarter. It remains 11 points in favour of Teacher Gully. Might get one here. Bounce is critical, as is calmness under pressure. West is lurking. Can't quite get the tackle before the hand pass is out. Brighton have had about 5 hand passes. It's still in the defensive goal square. They get it to Lang. He gets it out to Book, and the pressure relief momentarily. In front of Warner. He's got a lot of pressure around in front and back. No pro opportunity there. I reckon that's a pretty spot-on decision to call the ball up. Ball spilt to Nerlich, who lost it just as he was trying to run away. Not too far away from the centre of the ground, just Tea Tree Gully's side. Plenty of support in the Utes on the wing there. All right, now it spills to Nerlich. This time he's got it. Heading in the Sheffield direction. Given the mark at his ankles. To the pocket. Jeez, that was Will Rivers.
He's taken a bit of a face plant.
Has he
Will
taken
Rivers.
himself out in that one?
Hopefully he's okay, because that was a tremendous launch. Great courage. We talk about courage in the airfield, but to launch at the ball like that in the desperation. Hopefully he's okay. Looks like he's getting to his feet now. Looks like we just saw Phil there as well. Brighton might be down to 1 rotation, because O'Loughlin Johncock copped a slight ankle injury late in the second, and he has not reappeared either.
And that's not great. Last thing you want is to have no rotations. It looked for a moment that was possible. Tarker's had some big moments. Out to Perry. Perry's kick.
I've got a feeling I might have to send the physio out to Rivers there, because he did take that heavy hit and he was very easily pushed aside there, which is not normally his way. So hopefully he's okay.
We'll keep an eye on that as the quarter progresses. Awesome work by Segal to win that under pressure. Brighton have a mark and a shot on goal.
It's your man, Sheffield.
The Bay.
Just held on Brighton, didn't they? They had Teacher Gully got the first 4 inside 50s, but the Brighton defenders really stood up and repelled. And now they get a repeat entry and they can kick the first goal of the third quarter.
Well, he started the season, played 5 games for the Henley Reserves this season before transferring to Brighton Road. And he's delivered his 4th goal of the season in his 7th game, and first blood to Brighton in the second half.
Yeah, well done to him, and good on him for transferring over. Some players, Henley, have got a very strong team in Division 3 this year, Phil, and sometimes you can be stuck, and you want to play A-grade footy. At Brighton, you're required, and he's been a good player today as well, hasn't he? He's shown a lot. Henley must be going okay if he's stuck in the 2s, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, well, last year, 16 league games, 2 in the Bs. He was in the reserves. Henley Reserves. 5 games, 3 goals in 2024. I put an asterisk next to it. Not a typo. Again, Brighton, you think 1 down, the more they can make it while their players are still running. Tackle right by the boundary line made by Tyler Bennett.
Great tackle there by Bennett. I thought Rivers was going to get away, recovered first.
Just have a look at how he is after that. He's just checking.
He needed to have a little bit more grass on that tackle as well, so he's in the wards, I think, at the moment, Rivers. Great
Hook
lead.
up really, really high.
That's,
Should be a goal, and is.
and that's
Jack Francis is good for a goal here or there. The 12th for the season in 10 games. Can we show that Where's Book? There he goes.
So the tap caught everyone off guard, didn't it, Phil? But I think if I'm Teacher Gully coach, I'm pretty disappointed with how easy. There was just no players at the top of the square. And, yeah, the great tap back to the top of the square and an easy goal for Brighton. Game on.
Well, that 11-point half-time lead set could be erased in an instant. Not quite an instant, maybe about 4 minutes, but back-to-back goals to the Bombers gives them a 1-point lead in this huge game of consequence. And I wonder, Adam, if haven't won a game in 8 weeks, lost all these close ones. You think, oh gee, it's close again. Does that become a mindset after a while?
Yeah, as we see the pressure being applied here, you can see the desperation this game's gone up. Yeah, when you lose 7 in a row, there's always going to be doubts in your mind. And just little errors like that are costly, aren't they, Phil? Like giving up a stoppage goal there.
Ty Murphy puts a boot into the Sharon. Penny.
Probably lucky he's playing today.
I was
Penny.
about to say, I don't think we've got a league like marking stats. Surely he leads it. Asprey. He's got to play further down. They're on here, the Gullies. This sits with Brown. The bounce, absolutely critical. Here comes West to burst them all and miss.
It's great end-to-end play, wasn't it? Great transition from the Penny intercept to Luke Brown over the back. West, a couple of times, had a couple of chances to stay on the snap, hasn't he? He's just missed it on a couple.
Well, you've got to say, Adam, it's a real 50-50 ball game right now.
Been wanting to say that, haven't you, Phil?
Don't get to say it that often. Of course, that's all on the Hahn scoreboard. Might not be 50-50 for long, although that's a hand pass. That's last possession. Yep, thought so. We'll go the way of Brighton. 7-8 to 8-2. Teacher Gully 15 scoring shots, Brighton 8. That's Brighton 10. That's got to be frustrating when you feel you've had more of it and not getting the just reward. Okay. It's put out the front. A running kick. Looking in the west direction, here he comes. Again, draws the defenders, does it for anybody else. That's fantastic work done by Loy.
He's been
Out
really
to
good,
Chalmers.
Loy.
Tucker is next man up. Missed the target. Teacher Gully now a chance, although, again, not much vision because there wasn't a Teacher Gully player within Q. Easy pick up for Lang. He wastes no time to go inside 50. Nerlich couldn't take the grab, but he sure can lay the tackle, and that had a little bit of spirit in it.
You can feel like the intensity's gone up a little notch, hasn't it, Phil?
Umpire just balled that up while the two players were still on the ground.
There was no players ready for it.
I'm not sure if that's exactly how you're supposed to do it. I think you are supposed to give
Normally the
them a moment.
players react and go, oh, the ball's in play. They didn't care. They just wanted to keep wrestling.
They did.
It's gold.
Almost got a hit out of it. Tucker tackling this time on James White. Well, next score leads. I think the biggest margin's been around the 20-point mark to Teacher Gully, but that was in the first quarter. Maybe in the last 30 minutes of game time, been no more than a couple of goals at absolute most.
This is where Teacher Gully need to lock on to players like Tarka, who wants to dash through the stoppage here. They must be goal side. They don't want to give up an easy stoppage goal here again, Phil.
Penny just gives that a whack. A shot of the pickup, then kicks it straight into Dixon. Now the ball up. So next week, Teacher Gully travel to Broadview and then Golden Grove. So not too much to travel to. Brighton are at home to Port District and then go to Broadview their last game. So if Broadview go down to St. Peter's, they're all huge contests in relegation.
Yes, next few weeks. And they all seem to play each other as well, don't they, Phil?
Yeah. Next week we'll be at Payneham for the Falcons and Prince Alfred, who played an epic grand final, I reckon, about 2019, the Falcons' first flag. Segal couldn't take it. Ball still in, everybody wants a free.
It's the umpire's decision. I think he's paid in the back on the bump to Segal, who'll pump the ball back inside 50 for Brighton again. It's been living down this end, Phil.
Some of the fans just inside the fence. That's a long kick.
He's paid holding the ball.
Heflin was caught with it. Who's going to get the kick?
Is it Tarker or is it your man Sheffield? No, sorry,
Neither.
it's young Francis.
Jack Francis, who has a goal today. 2 the last time these two met. Spent some time at Goodwood, at Westminster Old Scholars, and the Bay at Glenelg. Works through it and has missed. That's a... well, I guess Teacher Gully have been the inaccurate ones. You can't say 8 goals, 3 is particularly bad kicking.
Just on top of you though, Brighton, aren't they? Teacher Gully just the one behind for the quarter so far. Haven't been able to penetrate and lock the ball in their front half.
Teacher Gully trying to work it out. They've got it as far as McKay on the outer wing. And it will be thumped out of bounds. Who kicked the last goal for Brighton?
Francis on the snap.
Okay, so I've got that one. Missing a goal for Brighton somewhere in my tally. I'll work that out later. Throw in, just Teacher Gully's side of centre wing, and they'll get the clearance. Olsen is ready to back up. If it gets back to him, it won't. Warner got the hand pass, created some space. Teacher Gully trying to work it. You always worry about if it's one hand pass too many, and that one, Warner had McKay's measurement. Probably lucky for Teacher Gully that spilled out of bounds without giving away any free kick. That's your one-man Brighton bench at the moment, which is Francis.
It's a tricky one for the coach to manipulate because he knows his midfielders in particular will need some legs in the last quarter. It's a semi-warmish day here as well, Phil.
As warm as it's been for a while. Temperature with a 2 in front of it. I think Brighton are getting a fair bit of the footy at the moment. Certainly been down there into the ground the last 5 minutes or so, and they would really want it to get a goal before it goes down the other side. Just think if Teacher Gully are in range and if they have a full bench to work with, they should have enough to claim it.
Segal again with the intercept mark. He's a real beast at half-back for Brighton. So just to put that in perspective, Phil, they lead the inside 50s 8-5 this quarter, Brighton, and Teacher Gully got the first 4. So they've had 8 of the last 9.
8 of the last 9, make that 9 of the last 10.
And Blake Penny saying, are you guys serious? Jumping on my shoulders again that
already
early?
had one crack at it.
Quite ambitious there from Rivers, but we like to see players go for them, don't we, Phil?
Probably means he's feeling better.
Yes, which is good news. Or is he? He took off about 3 minutes too early.
Yeah.
He's got vertigo now. He needs to come off.
Oh, another fly! Blake Higgins! And great to have the ground level camera to see that. And I'll tell you what, the marking today has been a highlight. We'll see if we can get this quickly.
It's not better than Tarker's, is it? It's not far off.
Let's have a look.
That's a good mark.
That's a good mark. I think it is the straight instant stretch that Tarker had. He got up early, realised he was early, went the extra stretch. But forget the highlights, it's Will Rivers. Worried about his state of mind a little bit earlier. Looks like he's by the boundary. Comes in at probably about a 50-degree angle, 40 out. He runs a little bit wider, crosses the whole field. And in the end, it's another grab. Yep. Oh.
What's the umpire's bit confused here?
Or free kick. Ball up.
He's saying Teacher Gully had a hand on it.
Touched off the boot, maybe.
Interesting.
I think it's the third quarter, not the final quarter. As you thought Nerlich was taken a little high on that occasion.
But what Brighton do need to do, Phil, is they need to capitalise on this domination. They've just kicked the 2. They need one more just to get that little buffer.
Is their chance? It comes out. Where's the run? It's Warner from the boundary. Missed. So often in these games, teams will have their purple patch, their run. It's what they can do with it. I just think that if Tea Gully can get a coast-to-coast goal, take back the lead, it'll sap a fair bit of whatever energy is left out of the Brighton legs.
Yeah, because you're right, they haven't got those rotations, so they might need to take a 1 or 2 goal buffer into three-quarter time.
So just a 2-goal quarter thus far. 6 in the first, 7 in the second, 2 in the third. Cody Tape's long kick. Oh, is that for a good check?
Not paid
It's
there.
Specky City, not paid. That's going to open up, and that's a miss. Holy Toledo.
And I think the Brighton player, is it Evans that went back there? He might be down. He might. No, it wasn't Evans.
He's getting up.
That is good news. It was an acrobatic attempt, wasn't it?
I think it was Evans. I saw a 1 on the back, and it's certainly not booked. Dixon has it. He's going to take a bounce, the big man. He's going to head to the commentary spot.
It's a push.
Push in the back, Brighton ball. No one's returning it. Might be 25. Nerlick's got Murphy. We're 10. Well, now we're 10 seconds from time on. Won't be a long third quarter. Don't know who's really won it. I mean, yet Brighton have taken an 11-point deficit and turned it at the moment to a 1-point lead. But to be honest, they should be a little bit further in front. They're keeping it away. This is with Murphy's in some open space to run and unload from outside 50. It's not going to curl back. It's not going to be marked. It's another miss.
It's a long leg from Murphy there. They set that play up so he could have the flying shot on goal, and he was at 55 and nearly cracked it.
2 goals, 3 this quarter, although we seem to have a slight deviation between our scoreboard and the official scoreboard. The official scoreboard has it tied up at 52 apiece. Someone's given a point to the wrong team, and I'm not going to cast aspersions on anyone.
I'm backing us in on that one. I think Brighton have had the last few behinds. Critical few minutes coming up though, Phil. Like I said, if Tea Gully can get that goal on the rebound, it'll just break Brighton's hearts a little bit. But Brighton are well on top here.
But how long can they maintain the rage? Hot Footy at the wing. Warner's been very good in this quarter, leading the attack from defence in many occasions. Seems to have lost his opponent. That's Francis, who was on the bench, who's now out in the action. Sits to Venning. Kick across the centre square, finds Francis again. Could this be Brighton's last hurrah this quarter? It's a high kick, gives a chance for Tyler Martin to go back with the fly, go back with it. To Tate. Never miss Cody Tate with those green boots. Reckon that's Robinson, Olsen, Machota. Nothing left, goes right. Is Olsen waiting for it? There's 2 gullies in the scoreboard pocket. Make that 3. Plenty of Brighton defenders. Latham almost had it sit for him. Ball just didn't quite bounce. There's another hold on the ball. It is. The debutant lays the tackle on Venning.
Is he a bit unlucky there, Venning, or he had a little opportunity to get rid of the ball, didn't he? And it was a good tackle by the first gamer. Pinned an arm, didn't let him get a handball free.
So whether the scores are tied or Tea Gully trail by 2, a goal will give the Gullies the lead at the last break. And we will confirm those scores at three-quarter time, one way or the other. And has missed, so similar 1 goal, 1 on the day. It's a 1-point game. We're just not sure to who. Free kick. 23 gone. Into the pocket we go. Nicely taken by Higgins. So if you're Brighton, are you going to run hard and create one opportunity, or just going to keep the ball away from your opponents for 30 seconds and see out the quarter? It's with Bennett. He sort of does a bit of both. Kicks it in the penny direction. This time he didn't have it so easy. Spills to Tyler Bennett. Big chance for Tea Tree Gully here. Robinson on the edge of 50. This is the big kick looking for Brown. He gets under his opponent. He's got one more to beat, but it's a big one to beat. Brown wants the free. He wants to argue. He's going to give away a free kick in a sec, and he has. Well, that's a little on the silly side, isn't it?
Yes. I'm glad you said that.
Take a 50-50 and just give away a neutral situation to a loss. And if Brighton score from this, it's going to look even sillier. With Book, just the attacking side of centre wing. In the Tarka fly zone. After his specky in the first quarter. The umpire has been hot to trot with the tackles so far.
Brighton folk thought if it was down there at one end, could have been there, but that one was pretty hot. Great contest by Rivers that didn't allow Penny to take that mark as well.
Good tackle, but you've got to have some for opportunity at this level. Out of the pack, Perry's kick. Needs a clunk, it spills to the back. Oh, the run of Higgins! Has nailed the goal. Thought for a sec that was the siren. It's just the horns honking.
I think that is just the horn. Sounded like a good long siren, but had a
Where
couple
did
of highlight
Higgins come
plays.
from?
Yeah, Higgins, mark of the second best mark of the day.
Okay, there he is at the front. He's a long way back. Read the bounce to perfection.
Would have got a high tackle as well. Just got the perfect bounce, didn't he? But that was a huge swing, Phil. Semler's set shot, which could have given Tea Tree Gully the momentum.
And Brown's give away the free
Brown
kick.
gives it away. They go down and score. There wasn't a lot in that Luke Brown one when the replay shown. That was not a lot in it, but the umpire wanted to take control and he did what he did. But big goal for Brighton, who deserved their lead, Phil. 12 inside 50s to 8 for the quarter.
Yeah. Whether it's 5 or 7, it is a Bomber lead. And you'd have to think with that being the third goal of the quarter, that three-quarter time is pretty imminent. Bit of aerial ping-pong.
Brighton will be desperate not to allow Tea Tree Gully a forward thrust and a shot on goal here. They haven't put anyone back. It's still 1-on-1 across the field.
Yeah. Penny never gives up, but he might have been held off the contest for a moment. Just ricocheting through some people at the moment, but it will be Tea Tree Gully, Spence to White to Cansdell. Now it's Robinson who has to battle too. He's on his knees trying to fight for the footy. Brighton eventually get it to Warner, and there's your siren. Warner's going to have a shot on goal. Let's keep on it. Someone's got to touch it, which Tyler Bennett has the wherewithal to do. That is three-quarter time. The Bombers, who trailed by 14 at quarter time, 11 at halftime, will take a lead. We'll let you know how much after the break. Don't go anywhere though, folks. We'll get your scores around the ground and Adam's stats and thoughts on this contest. You're with Adam Jeffries, Phil Hurd and Hugo on production, James Elias, the Filming Footy crew. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League thanks to Filming Footy.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
It's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HEC stat doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Welcome back. The round of the season. And we've got a ding-dong battle here. And Hugo 1, scoreboard 0. Because, yeah, it turned out Hugo was correct. And it is a 7-point Brighton lead after Teacher Gully led by 14 quarter time, 11 at halftime. Adam Jeffries, I'm just getting some scores around the grounds. What's your thoughts on the status of this one?
Well, it was certainly a Brighton quarter, wasn't it, Phil? 3-2 to 3 points. Ball lived in their forward half. Teacher Gully dominated the first 2 minutes. And then from there after, it was all Brighton. And they got the reward with that third goal. So they've got a handy little buffer. But Teacher Gully, they'll still back themselves to come back here. Love the composure from Coach Machado. He'd been disappointed with what his charges brought that quarter. But that's modern coaching. He's just reinforcing what they need to do to win this game. And one of the reasons why it turned, Phil, was they just shut down Penny for 10 or 15 minutes. You know, they stopped him taking intercept marks, grabbing the ball out of the ruck, winning the centre bounces. So I thought that was crucial because Penny was really a bit of a one-man wrecking crew who was keeping Teacher Gully firstly in front and then keeping them afloat when they were in trouble. So great quarter by Brighton. Just got a sneaky feeling, Phil, we're going to see a close finish under a goal. Either way, which way will it go? Who would know? Teacher Gully are due, but Brighton have played pretty good football since that first 10 minutes.
Yep, hard to pick at the moment. Thanks to good mate Fabian Muller advising me Glenunga about 10 goals up on Sacred Heart.
Wow.
Last time you heard, so they do that. Glenunga are minor premiers. Port District lead Payneham by 48, should get back third spot if that holds. They've started the third quarter at Harpersfield, Golden Grove by 12 points, 34 to 22. And Broadview have hit the front at the last break. Broadview 58, St. Peter's 52 in a game of consequence here. If Broadview win, they're just about safe. If St. Peter's win, it's 4 teams with 2 relegation spots to avoid.
Yeah, big half an hour for a lot of teams coming up, isn't it, Phil? 3/4 time at most of the venues. Seasons are on the line, relegations are on the line, finals places are on the line, a lot of close games.
Some other information coming down the line. Apparently our women's preliminary final had a forfeit. Who forfeits a final?
I don't know what to say about that, Phil.
Yeah, you can find out more about that on the weekend wrap. We cover all we have a women's wrap and we have a men's wrap. Women's, of course, into the finals. Last round for Div 7 today. They start their finals next week. Divs 2 to 6 start their finals in a fortnight. And 3 weeks away for the teams in Division 1.
So what Brighton need here as well, Phil, Tarka really drifted out of the game in that third quarter, which was a good sign for Brighton. They played such good footy. He was really good in the first half. Probably, dare say, wore a bit of a tighter tag. But I dare say they're going to need him to break free and kick a goal or 2. Has anyone
come to the bench for Brighton?
They were definitely down to only 1. Let's hope that one rotation is still available.
Let's just have a quick look at Teacher Gully as they break their huddle and just see how many players are coming to. Yeah, they got 3 coming to the bench. I just couldn't see a player in a Brighton jersey. Guernsey, sorry, coming to the bench.
Just having a bit of a look.
We'll find out, because if they do interchanges right in front of us, thanks to Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic. Adam, the other thing you've had to do at 3/4 time is you had to start thinking about some award winners.
Yeah, we've had some great highlights today, haven't we? But it's been such an even game and it's a close game as well, so it's a bit tricky. But I'll nail it, Phil. Let's see how we go. We love the close finishes, so I'm happy that it occurs.
2 sets maybe, unless Adam says I'm just going to give it as I feel the need.
We do want to speak to Jake Tarka after that epic mark in the first quarter, but we'll let him go if he doesn't get the chocolates.
Might be James maybe afterwards. All right, final quarter, a big one for both. The winner is out of relegation. The loser is right slap bang in the middle of it, and they're running out of games. It will be Olsen who gets the clearance. He's been pretty good in the second half, particularly, and he's found a target in Brown.
Well, that's the start you'd want, isn't it? Olsen with the centre clearance, quick inside 50 kick, and Luke Brown, who's looked dangerous, hasn't had a lot of opportunities, has he, since the early part of the game?
Well, you've got two Sandford calibre players, haven't you, and probably above that. Olsen, 71 games, Sandford level for Centrals and Nord, and we know a fair bit about Luke Brown as well.
Just a lazy 190 AFL games.
Yeah. Just do that without thinking about it, can't you? But right now, he's got to nail a goal at Pertaringa, puts it high into the blue sky, and is missed.
It looked on target, didn't it? Just drifted behind the stick. Bit of a let off there for Brighton. Again, the centre bounce work of Teacher Gully is what's kept them in this game.
Yeah, well, it's one straight kick. So right now, all three potential results are well in play.
If it's a draw, Phil, I'm speaking to Jake Tarker. Can
Okay.
I say that?
A draw, it's in your hands. We have not. I don't think we've called a draw in our game of the
I haven't
day.
called a draw. No, I don't recall.
Maybe, I don't actually think there might. Actually, maybe one here against Teacher Gully and Paynham, maybe. But anyway, that's probably the least of the potential, but straight kick, it's possible. 18 scoring shots to 14. Brighton have been the more accurate, but even they, there were a couple of chances that were gettable in that third quarter. They've got the clearance for the moment. It's been all Teacher Gully's end of the field. Dixon has it, and he's immediately wrapped up.
It's been good, Dixon. You know, he's had to take on the ruck work with Farquhar coming off very early in the game. He's up against Penny. He's tried to drag him out of the play as often as he can, and it worked for a period of time there in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Nothing better than when the ruck goes down and someone comes out. You're rucking for the rest of the day against Penny. That's the message you want, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah. Against one of the biggest bodies and veterans in the comp to boot. Ball spills. Robinson by the boundary, and that's a great 1%er from Ty Murphy. Appreciated by the Brighton bench, which seems to almost surround us at times here.
And good to see they do have one fit player to
They
use,
do.
Phil, which is good news. They're going to need him to keep their on-ballers fresh so they can run the game out.
Finlay Bennett is that one player at the moment. Penny just taps it into space. That's a huge tap. That tap's gone 30 metres in the end out of bounds. It is that's a great illustration that it is a last disposal rule, not a last touch rule.
Not soccer.
Teacher Gully coaching bench, Justin Machota. There's some things to think about. Tape kicks forward. Is Tarka playing a little bit of defence? Moves it around quickly down that outer side into some space. Gee, the ball is bouncing a lot. Hard field. Fair to say
outfield.
it's a fast track. And so fast. That kick, which I swear was in the back pocket, has gone out of bounds. Just defensive side centre wing.
Just unlucky there, Brian. Just got the last kick, accidental kick out of bounds. Right decision in the end.
Gully's to repel. Warner got the pick up, but the hand pass lacked any oomph to move it on. 4 minutes. Just the one behind to Brighton. Put up by Perry.
Kicked it to himself.
Well, he could almost try and mark it himself, except it didn't go the full 15.
He's been pretty good today, Perry. He's a guy played SANFL footy around 10 years ago. Phil's been up at Langhorne Creek. He's in his mid-30s playing in the midfield.
He was a South lad, Curtis Perry, I reckon.
Certainly was.
Back when I was...
Would have played about 50-odd league games for South Adelaide.
Living dangerously at Pantherland. All right, Brighton have got some space. They've got the run. The whistle's blown.
25-metre penalty here, Phil, I think.
And this is where everyone got confused. And Ty Murphy says, well, until someone stops me, I'm going to keep going.
So I think it's Sam Venning that's got the ball. He's been playing back pocket all day. I'm not sure if it was a positional shift or if he just found himself in the shuffle forward of the ball.
Interesting that Finlay Bennett's been in front of us for 2-3 minutes. So he's either just decided to park himself here because it's a good spot to watch.
Letting the coach know he's keen. And a lot of football's been on the other side if they're trying to rotate a player. Now would be a good time.
Now would be the perfect time, but
So again, the ball lived in Tea Tree Gully's forward 50. Couldn't get a score, Phil.
got it behind.
First inside 50 for Brighton for the quarter. Can Venning kick it?
Was with Blackwood last year and has missed. One of those that was a Brighton junior, I think, ended up at Blackwood in South Adelaide. Came back.
He's been a solid player in the back pocket today. Looks like he's moved to half forward. Maybe he can kick a late goal.
Whoever loses this is going to be frustrated because both teams have had their moments where they played pretty well. But someone you think is going to win and someone is going to be mightily frustrated. Segal has just put it up. Who wants it? Tarka's lurking. Ball bounces away from him. Is it just me or a lot of balls going maybe a little bit too high today?
It's because it's the day of the hanger, Phil.
Yeah, maybe.
Kick them up and they'll mark it.
Yeah. Brighton have worked it out nicely. Higgins, who had a really important goal, but I think he kicked the last one.
Had a real purple patch, and he took the little hanger as well, didn't he, Phil?
He did. 6 minutes gone. Goalless quarter thus far. Just the 1 point to Tea Tree Gully that took it from 7 points to 6. But it is Brighton in front. In the middle, taken by Segal.
Another inset mark for Segal. Phil, many of them today.
He's almost the penny of Brighton in some respects. Francis spills out the back. There's Penny and Book. Book's picked it up. He's taken the snap and it has bounced through. Alex Book has 2. That is huge. I reckon this is Brighton's biggest lead of the afternoon. It's now 13 points.
Jake Tarka hadn't taken that epic mark in the first quarter, that would always be a nomination for Player of the Day, Phil. That was a great goal from deep in the pocket with an opponent hanging off him at a crucial stage as well. So, yeah, great goal by Book. Now Brighton need a centre clearance to put Tea Tree Gully under pressure, but they haven't been able to get them all day.
So 13-point game. That's huge. Brighton have kicked, I reckon, the last 3 goals of this contest. They're the ones with 1 on the bench. McKay's got the pick up. Verrill will send them forward. And it's taken by Lathan. He's a long way from his normal residence. Kicks long into 50. There's some Brighton flyers again. Olsen is lurking. Does it bounce from? No, it doesn't. Brighton defence just standing well on the way. That was well done by Jack Loy. Back to Francis at defensive 50 arc. And there's your man Tarka. He knows that if Brighton can win, he's got an award coming his way to Lockie Sheffield.
Wonder if he's wearing a mouthguard.
Wonder if he needs a new one.
I'm not going to buy one this year. I'm going to win one.
Thanks, of course, to Nearmouth mouthguards. So comfortable, you do have to check if you're wearing one.
Which is a good thing, because I remember in my playing days, Phil, the clunky, cheap mouthguard, you just didn't want to wear it. Couldn't
Was
talk.
that the one that you used to have to soak in the hot water and put around your gums
terrible.
so it all sat?
So there was no neomorph.
Then it hardened and it was all out of alignment
I wish
anyway.
they had those neomorphs in my day. Luckily, never lost a tooth, but yeah, hated wearing a mouthguard.
Yeah. That's what you had to do to play the game. They're in front of the Hans scoreboard. You can see at the moment, we're all in alignment.
This is a tricky situation now for Tea Tree Gully, Phil. If Brighton do get the next goal, then it won't be paddock stations, but it'll be a long way back for Tea Tree Gully, who haven't scored a goal this half.
And the goals have dried up.
Yeah, we thought it might go the other way, didn't we?
Yeah, we were talking about maybe 100 to win. Well, it could be a 75, 80 to win. Especially if you're Brighton.
That just shows the pressure of Division 1, Phil, when you'd think on a day like today you would kick a big score, but it's just the pressure of the situation, the pressure on the ball carrier that makes it hard to score. Olsen again away from the back pocket.
McKay to Breeden.
And they paid it downfield free.
I think I might have called Breeden Venning a couple of times today. If I did, apologies. Robinson. Waits finds the loose player in White. Not sure they gained much out of that. Back to Olsen, who fumbles. Recovers. Breeden. On to Spence. They're mucking around with it in Teacher Gully. You know what happens if you muck around with it in defence. Got lucky. Verrill looking for Tape. Two Gullies collide. That just didn't sound good, and Tape hasn't got up yet.
Umpire may have to stop the play.
I think he should stop it. Yeah, well, he hasn't stopped it now. He ain't stopping it, is he? Tape's actually up on his... Sitting up now.
It was just right in the middle of that scrum. It was a heavy hit, wasn't it? It was right in front of us. But one of those ones, Phil, hopefully he's just winded.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good for a couple of minutes.
Bit of friendly fire. Thankfully, Teachwood Gully do have a bench to work with. But they don't have the lead.
The worst part of that is that the wind goes away, but he might have copped a decent corky from it, Phil. That's the one that can keep you coming back on.
Yeah. Penny. Pretty much in the middle of Ray White, Teachwood Gully Oval, Pertaringa. Here comes a long, that's a huge kick. Wood couldn't take the mark. Brighton clear momentarily. Cansdell's lurking. Uses Verrill, creates some space. Gee, a little bit of interesting afters in the Shepherd there. But Brighton defence at the moment is holding up. They've allowed just one behind in the first 12 minutes of this final quarter.
If we go back, Phil, Teacher Gully kicked 4 goals in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game.
I'll tell you what, you remember that game at Sacred Heart where Teacher Gully led and they didn't score a goal in the second half? Do you know how many goals Teacher Gully have kicked in the second half today?
0.
Yep.
We've got a free kick paid off the ball here. Phil, a little bit of a late hit in the Shepherd.
The other way of Sheffield. And the longer this goes, the better the Bombers look.
You can feel the tension here, though, can't you, Phil? Because if Gullies can get the next goal, it's game on. But if Brighton get it, it's going to be a long way back. That was an ambitious pass there into the, trying to thread the eye of the needle there.
Breeden with it to Asprey. He'll run off defensive 50. I'm waiting for this game to open up. But if anything, the players have slowed a little bit. This is pretty good work by the Gullies. White's kick. Assume just into Luke Brown. A little bit further out from goal than he probably would have liked. Looking for West. Did he mark that? No, he didn't. Of course he didn't.
Oh.
He's saying he did. He's saying, I was in front.
I think West is very unlucky there, Phil. To mine, Segal needed to spoil that ball. Umpire thought he had best purchase on it, but for mine, they both clunked it at the same time, and the man in front normally gets that.
I was going to say, benefit of the doubt, man in front, and West was clearly in front. He's given, well, there's two 25s.
Have to call out Luke Brown there. He gave the umpire a mouthful, and it's easy in here, isn't it, Phil? But it just wasn't needed for his team.
Too easy in here.
Just got to put that away because now Brighton get the ball in their front half.
Warner has it. If Brighton get a goal out of this,
Ooh.
Could be just about all she wrote, and Rivers wasn't far around from taking the climb. You talk about it being easy here. I do remember before you joined us, Adam, that used to be a fair bit of liberal discussion about umpiring.
Yep.
And Colin Rouse said, well, come out and do a C-grade game.
Oh, yeah, I do know this, and you and Jacko weren't an umpire, didn't you?
Well, I claimed goal umpire straight away, my experience bit.
Which still can be tricky.
I'll still call it a cheat at one particular moment. But it did lead to a 3-game suspension and a letter of apology from the club, and a bit of an eye-opener for all of us. Murphy. Gee, I love his work.
Oh, wow.
I was about to say, if that was an effective kick, that would have taken the cake. It wasn't. Olsen, who's having to do most of his good work in defence. Robinson, who's done plenty. I'm not sure if Robinson's had much of an opponent today.
No, he seems to have had a few uncontested possessions, but
he links them up well, though. He doesn't waste them.
Brighton are just playing this well, aren't they? They've just got a bit of tempo happening. Not allowing Teacher Gully. You were waiting for it to open up, Phil. It just hasn't done it.
For Penny, this time, someone got Falcon on the back of the head. And we'll go again. Starting to look at the clock, 15 minutes in a one-goal quarter.
They've kicked 3 goals since 10 minutes into the game, and none in this half. So it's looking tough, isn't it, Phil?
It is. If you get more than 3 goals down, you haven't kicked one in the half. Tarka needs to just settle for a sec, wait for the ball to sit. It does. To Crawsick, back to Tarka. Couldn't quite, I say not Crawsick, sorry, Rivers back to Tarka.
So even if Brighton can score the next point, Phil, it means Teacher Gully will likely need to kick 3 goals to win the game.
Well, yeah, we got 13. That's 13? Yeah,
Yeah.
13.
So you can kick 2 goals, 1.
Yeah, but 2 goals.
3 goals is tough.
2 goals, 3 to win.
Relieving free kick here to Penny.
16 gone. Tea Tree Gully fans are saying we just feel like we've been here before. Trying to break a 7-game losing streak. Brighton are trying to win their first game away from Brighton Road this year.
It's a great mark by Venning. Intercept. He's been a good player today, Sam Venning. I've been impressed with his game down back for Brighton.
Ty Murphy is the rested player. I'm interested to note that the rested player is not resting. They're not sitting on the pine. They're at the interchange gates, desperate to get back into the thick of it.
So there's a bit of nervous energy here on the Brighton bench field because they know if they can just kick 1 more goal, they've got this game.
And with the draw, if St. Peter's lose today,
we've had a reversal.
They've got a game and a half lead.
We've had a reversal here, Phil. It was a free kick off the ball in the Tea Tree Gully forward line, has given the ball back to Brighton at half forward.
In baseball, we have a thing called free bases where you make an error and you give your opponents free stuff. In footy, I've got a stat I'm thinking of, like where you've just given away possession and Tea Tree Gully, or extra yardage that you didn't need to. Tea Tree Gully have done that 3 times this half.
There's a lot of feeling out in this game now, Phil, as well. You can feel the desperation from both teams. Brighton need 1 more goal, and Tea Tree Gully know if they can just get the next one, it's game on.
Yeah, it's not quite next goal wins. Could be if Brighton get it. Dixon's kick around the body. Umpire's found a free, holding on. Tea Tree Gully ball. Standing O happening in the car park behind him. Okay, 17 and a half gone. That is a wayward kick. Suits Venning. Hand pass in hope. Chalmers went and got it with that was courageous. Loy's kick, 1%er from Heffernan. Throw in. It's down the end where Brighton want it.
It's not the type of game we thought we'd see, Phil. I said that first 10 minutes, Tea Tree Gully had it all their own way. Marks inside 50, kicked 4 quick goals. But Brighton's defence and their pressure has been elite since that moment. Credit to them. But the job's not done yet. Just need to put together 1 more passage of play and then they can really hold the clock. There is still time for Tea Tree Gully, though. Almost 2 actions in that tackle, but...
I mean, we probably don't quite get how much Brighton have dominated second half, given that they probably haven't taken as much of the opportunities as they could. But they've only got to make 1 work. Tape, good to see him back out there.
They just don't look like breaking free, do they, Tea Tree Gully? That's the thing. Brighton are well set up behind the ball. They do have 1 spare, and they've got plenty of numbers around the ball as well.
Ty Murphy is that spare one, and we know that he can move quickly. It's tough. It's dead set tough at the moment. And you'd expect this because the stakes are high.
It's been a great game, though, hasn't it? Highlights, hard hits,
Yeah.
a lot on the line, relegation for both clubs. A 10-goal-to-7 game. It's been really good to watch.
Penny's tap. Still a hot footy at the forward 50 arc. Finlay Bennett, who should be the freshest of the players. They've transferred the ball. Benning takes off with it thinking, well, surely that's a free kick to me. No. 30 seconds from time on. Of course, time on is not just goals. We've had a fair share of stoppages. Spills to Loy. Is this Brighton's opportunity? There's your point, Adam.
Yeah, and I think that's a crucial point. It might not seem like
Actually,
a lot,
yes,
but...
or is it?
Or has he paid a free kick?
I think it's a free kick. Just give me a moment. We'll let the professionals sort it out.
They've gone for the... it's a throw-in, so they don't get the point. Hit the post.
Okay, fair enough. No, that's beautiful. You got the 3 You got the three factions all working there, boundary, field, goal.
See, I think both teams wanted the point. Teacher Gully wanted to launch the ball down the guts with possession, but Brighton would have meant that Teacher Gully have to kick 3 goals. So I think both clubs wanted the point paid.
Yeah. Penny under pressure. Got the hand pass out only as far as Perry. Here's the kick.
Ooh,
There's your point. It's 14. We're into time on by 40 seconds.
Won't be a long quarter, will it, Phil? What's there been? Just one goal scored?
Just the one goal.
So this will only be a 24, 25-minute quarter, you'd think. Luke Brown's surely thinking about a big barrel down the guts. Let's see where he goes.
He'll come out, and here it comes. Lands in the square. A lot of flyers. Friendly fire for Bright. Oh, my goodness. There's been no shortage of collisions today. I think Brighton are almost out of a bench. It'll feel a whole lot better in about 5 minutes if they can hang on to this lead, although there is one player who is down. Umpire says, let's play on. Siren goes. We'll try and get you some scores from around the grounds, particular St. Peter's, Broadview. Golden Grove and Prince will finish a long time after we're off air. From the boundary, it's out of bounds, throw in. Before Tyler Martin could get it back in play. All right, everybody up for the Bombers. Still a fairly well spread out. I thought they'd be on a little bit tighter than this. They said they're going to retrieve the football. Everyone will appreciate the breather. It's all time on. That's West with the pickup, the kick around the body by the goal line. Doing well to escape. He did that exceptionally well, Ty Murphy. Could have got into a lot of trouble. In the end, he got a clearance out of defensive 50. Releases the pressure for a moment. Bennett goes down with the ball. We're 22 and a half minutes. You'd think we got no more than about 3-4 minutes max at game time, probably less. Dixon the tap. And somehow Brighton have kept this pressure throughout the entire final quarter, kept Tea Tree Gully goalless with just one available player on the bench.
They haven't just let Tea Tree Gully get any time and space, have they, Phil? They haven't been able to maintain possession, get any clear looks inside 50. It's been a bit of a masterclass from Brighton in this last quarter.
Dixon's tap. The more this stays like this, the more it favours the Bombers. Warner says, I'll quite happily take the dual tackle from Tape and Penny.
So what you're trying to do here, Brighton, is you're just getting an insane amount of numbers around the ball, Phil. So any space that Tea Tree Gully have, they just can't find, or it's just a hat kick forward where the defenders have a +1.
And there's Tarka, not the great marker before, but just as important. Got a runner. It's 1-on-1 inside 50. Push in the back, and this could be it. Rivers is going to take the kick. He'll take every second of time allowed. His time off is blown. No one will give him the ball. He's quite happy to go and get it himself. And with a 14-point margin, just short of the time he's going to take off the clock, should make this not just a first road win for Brighton, but quite likely a season saver. And a very happy trip down Northeast Road, around the city somehow, and down the Anzac Highway, and then down Brighton Road. I'm assuming the post-club celebrations might be somewhere a bit closer to here. Rivers to seal the deal. A stutter step from 45. Has scored, but it's a behind. There's pretty much seconds left. It's going to be Brighton's win, and what a win it's going to be. Tea Tree Gully by 14. They got up to 20 points in front in the first quarter. a second quarter that went back and forth. Tea Tree Gully by 11 points. At that point, they had 7-7. Second half, they've kicked 4 behinds. In the second half, Brighton have only kicked 4 goals, 6. But it's going to be enough. One last chance to go forward through Breeden. It's going to be a free kick to the Gullies. To Olsen. The run now of Spence from the T-Saucer. There's the siren. What a win for Brighton. They didn't quite do it on one leg, but they did it with one on the bench. They looked out of it early, and a stifling defence to keep Tea Tree Gully goalless in the second half. It is Tea Tree Gully 7-11-53 going down to a more accurate Brighton, scoring shots in the end. The Bombers are 10-8, 68. Tea Tree Gully 7-11. That's 53 now. I've got my Brighton. Yeah, I've got all my goal scorers now. So, 3 goals to Jake Tarker, 2 to Alex Brook and Will Rivers. Singles to Blake Higgins, Lockie Sheffield, Tim Dixon and Jack Francis. For Tea Tree Gully, 2 to Luke Brown. The rest singles to Chris Olsen, William Cansdell, Tyler West, Adam Semler, Blake Penny. Let's have a look around the rest. Let's go to St. Peter's, where this game is over. Who's emerged victorious? And it is St. Peter's who have won. Spock, 14-9-93. Broadview, 12-10-82. That's huge. That means we've got a real humdinger battle for relegation. St. Peter's, Broadview, Tea Tree Gully and Brighton. But yeah, Broadview 12-10-82, St. Peter's 14-9-93. Spock, they just have this incredible ability of being right on the edge of the cliff and staying in there. Of course, they're not guaranteed of safety just yet. The other game for third spot now belongs to Port District. They took care of Payneham by 54 points, 120-66. Golden Grove and Prince Alfred, they'll be playing, well, they're at three-quarter time. Golden Grove, though, have a 37-point lead at three-quarter time. They had a big third quarter because they led by 12 at the half. That game delayed due to an ambulance needed for Wade Chan, who did himself a serious ankle injury. Adam is in amongst the victorious Bombers. As you see the Dartfish highlights, you probably just saw Jake Tarker's mark. He'll have the post games for you in a sec. I'll just check if I've got any more messages in regards to Glenunga and Sacred Heart. Glenunga just 9 goals up before three-quarter time. So I'm going to go out on a limb and assume Glenunga win that. Not too far away from going down to Adam Jeffries. And we're all set. Let's go to Adam.
Boys, just wait up. Just wait up. I want to see this.
All right, apparently we're on. Everyone's trying to talk to me. AJ, I want an award. I want an award. This after-match segment has just become epic, hasn't it? No, on a serious note, huge win for Brighton today. I have to say, after the first 10 minutes, I was looking a little bit nervous, but since that time, for the last 3.5 quarters, their pressure was absolutely immense. So well done to them. We've got 3 award winners. There was many highlights and many bone-crunching hits today. Our best player, we thought, was Jarman Segal, who wins the Belgravia New Balance voucher. Well done to him. Our Neomorph mouthguard play of the day. There was a real tricky one, but we thought Jake Tarker's just a little chest mark down in the pocket there in the first quarter was pretty handy, so well done to him. We look forward to talking to him. And Jack Loy wins the Moseley Best Team voucher for his game down back. Let's speak with you, Jack. I couldn't find you after. Where's Jack? Where's Jack? All right, here we go. Nervous start to the game, and then fought back, plenty of run. West had you in that first 10, but after that, you got him. Yeah, we thought he had you in the first 10, but you got him for the next 100.
Well, I thought he only had the 1 mark in the first half, but in the first quarter. I thought I had him, but all right. That's fair enough. You
know what we like down here? We like players that back themselves in. Now, we thought it was a great fight back by Jack Lye, and he had a great game today. And enjoy that Moseley voucher, big fella. That's what you want, isn't it, living down Brighton way? Jarman Segal, let's talk to you. How many marks did you take today? Was it 20 or 28?
I don't know. You tell me. I wasn't counting them.
No, great game by you. And is it true you did play 2 games in a weekend a fortnight ago?
Yeah, I reckon I played better on the Sunday than I did the Saturday, to be honest. But yeah, it was good to get out. So yeah.
No, well done to you, mate. Another great game. All right, let's talk to Jake about the mark. Are you still dizzy coming down? It was pretty epic, mate. Well done on the mark. Tell us about it.
Thanks, mate. No, it was good to actually get up and bring one down for once. I haven't held one this year, so I usually fumble them.
Very humble man. It's probably one of the greatest marks I've ever seen live, to be honest. That was absolutely epic. He got up super early and just stayed on the ruckman's shoulders, took the great mark. Hey, great scenes down here. We better throw back to the comm box. The Brighton boys want to go in and sing the song. Great win by them today. Well done to them in the battle to avoid relegation. That is huge. Well done to them. Back to the comm box. Cheers.
Yeah, well done to Adam on running proceedings. Doesn't seem to be much in the way of controversy on this occasion. No, there you go. All right, so what's happened? Well, for a start, round 16 is still happening. I believe that Glenunga, 8 goals in front at three-quarter time. If they hold that, it's a bit feel like Anthony Green calling a seat before the final vote is counted. But Glenunga, if they have beaten Sacred Heart, have got the minor premiership. Port District have jumped Payneham Norwood Union into 3rd spot. Golden Grove, I reckon, have secured a finals berth. Maybe not officially, but they're 2 games and massive percentage with 2 to go ahead of Princes if they can hold on to their 37-point lead. So again, I'm jumping the gun on that one. They are finishing late. Prince Alfred are sitting at 6 and 10 with not a great percentage if they lose to Golden Grove. Brighton, who were dead set last 2 weeks ago, have jumped to 7th. I think Spock have jumped to 8th. Broadview have dropped to 9th. They're tied on percentage, but they were only 0.07%.
So St. Peter's won, sorry, Phil.
St. Peter's won by 11 points.
So I'm just a bit dizzy after that down there. There was a bit going on.
So, yeah, well managed, as always. So let me just, for Adam's sake, just run through what we got. So, don't have a final from Sacred Heart, but Glenunga believed to be up by 8 goals at three-quarter time. That would give Glenunga the minor premiership. Sacred Heart, they'll be in the qualifying final. Port District beat Payneham by 54. That's locked in. Port District jumped Payneham into 3rd spot. Golden Grove at three-quarter time, we're leading Prince Alfred by 37. I'm going to be Anthony Green and give the seat to Golden Grove before we've got to preferences.
Tough day for PAC out there.
Yeah, that'll be Golden Grove 8 and 8, PAC 6 and 10 with the poorest percentage in the comp. So Kookaburras would need something. They'd need to implode not to play finals. Brighton 5, 10 and 1 are in 7th spot. Tied for 8th, Spock and Broadview. Coming into today, Broadview had a percentage of 45.08. St. Peter's 45.01. St. Peter's won by 11. I reckon might be enough to have jumped them. And in last spot, 4 and 12, having lost their last 8 games, Tea Tree Gully.
Yeah, wow.
That's where we're at after the round of the season.
Yeah, that's
Comment, Adam.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan of Coach Machota and Tea Tree Gully. I thought they played really good football at the start of the season. And I have to say, I'm totally shocked that they're in the position they're in. Even today, they play good football for patches, but they just can't string it together for 4 quarters. So, yeah, a little bit of a shock. It's not over for them by any stretch. They've still got 2 games that they can win, Phil, and they can stay out of that relegation. But today's made it hard, hasn't it?
It does, because you're now relying on other things ahead. St. Peter's winning hasn't helped. So the games next week, although St. Peter's finished with Glenunga and Port District, so St. Peter's are out of the relegation dust. How big's Broadview and Tea Tree Gully next week?
That's a massive game.
That's now 9th versus 10th.
That is a huge game, because whoever wins that can stay out of relegation, can't
Whoever
they?
loses,
lose that, you're in trouble.
Especially if it's if Tea Tree Gully do lose, I think that's just about curtains for them. Other games next week, Sacred Heart host Golden Grove. That'll be interesting. Brighton host Port District.
Which will be
interesting. They drew it, Largs.
Yep.
St. Peter's, Glenunga, good luck, Spock. And we've got Payneham and Prince Alfred. The Falcons need to respond after a disappointing effort, going down by 9 goals at home today. How's that for a round? Sorry, just
what a day.
Catch the breath for a moment.
Yeah, there was hectic at ground level. You see the highlight there, another fantastic mark. It was an amazing game, wasn't it? For 10 goals to 7. The hits, the marks, the pressure. It was a fantastic game to call. I didn't see it coming. I thought Teacher Gully were really all over Brighton in that first 10-15 minutes, Phil. They moved the ball, turned it over, scored easily. But from that point on, they only allowed Teacher Gully to kick 3 more goals for the entire game and no goals in the second half. And Brighton haven't been known for that, but today they brought it out of the kit bag and it was a great win by them.
Yep, alrighty. I think we're just about due for a wrap. Want to thank our sponsors, Archie's Footwear, Belgravia Apparel, New Balance, Nearmouth Mouthguards. We gave them a pretty good plug today. Hahn for the scoreboard, the various scoreboards we had during the day. Wayfield Sports Exercise Clinic, Farmers Leap Winery. Of course, Police Credit Union, the Dartfish Footy Stats, and of course the Moseley Bar and Kitchen. You can keep up to date with everything on the Adelaide Footy League Facebook page. The men's and women's weekend wraps, they're tomorrow afternoon. Plenty to cover there. Tommy Javor's extensive Division 1 report, part of Between the Posts, which is out Monday evening. Adam, any final words before we wrap this one in a bow?
Well, looks an exciting season. Great game of footy today, despite the low scoreboard. We thought it was going to be high scoring. Well done to Brighton. Teacher Gully, they're just going to be unlucky, aren't they? You know, those close losses, another one again today, 8 losses in a row. But not over for them. They just need to pick themselves up and go and beat Is it Broadview next week.
That's what it is. Focus on next week. In the C's, it was Teacher Gully victorious in a forfeit, unfortunately. In the B's, Teacher Gully by 49 points. But in the A's, Brighton, they'll enjoy the trip home, victorious by 13. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, producer Hugo. Thanks to James, Elias, boss John Douglas, all the Filming Footy family. We'll be back next week from Payneham Oval, round 17 of 18. The Falcons hosting Prince Alfred. Until then, this has been the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.
Say